Gnana Kunja, Paths of Knowledge. As per the shloka quoted in Srishta Samhita Chikitsasana 28th chapter 27th shloka, Satatatrinam Varadharavalokanam Tadvikracharya Sevacha Buddhi Veda Parumanama. There are 4 V's Acharya told to enhance their intellect and brain functions, that are Satatatrena, constant study, practice, updating and upgrading the knowledge, GADAG, discussion, arguments, debates and interactions, Paratantravalokanam, appreciation of other sciences and theories, accepting, endorsing and inculcating cross and additional references, Tadvidya Acharya Seva, serving, respecting and following resourceful teachers and scholars of related fields. With this above intention, we, the third year faculty, have organized this state-level seminar in Gnana Kunja from our esteemed institution. Paths of Knowledge, the interdepartmental program from Department of Prasuti-Tantra and Sriyoga, Department of Agada-Tantra, Department of Samhita and Siddhanta, and Department of Swastharita, with the eminent speakers of respective subjects. First, the scientific session by Dr. Satish Jagannathan, topic evidence-based protocol in the management of infertility. Second, scientific session by Dr. Sanjay Kattimansa, topic importance of Agni in Chikitsa. Third, scientific session by Dr. Veena Nikardina, topic clinical success stories in Balaloka. Fourth, scientific session by Dr. Guru Vasavaraj sir on the topic management of non-communicable diseases through Ayurveda and Yoga. Fourth, scientific session by Dr. Manish T. Sabalima on the topic the clinical application of Vishwapatra. With this brief introduction, once again on behalf of our institution, I welcome you all for this state-level seminar Gnana Kunja, Paths of Knowledge. So let's start with the first scientific session. The resource person for this session is Dr. Satish Jagannathan. Now I request Dr. S.N. Valvadi sir to welcome this sir to the dais with the bouquet as per our president. Dr. Satish Jagannathan, completed BMS from the same institution, Dr. DGM Ayurvedic Medical College, GADAG, in the year 2007 and completed their MS in the Department of Prasuti-Tantra and Sriyoga from NK Jashpati Ayurvedic Medical College and Research Center, Karnataka, in the year 2011, and sir also running the infertility center with the artificial reproductive techniques and training regularly 4 PG scholars per year in a clinical procedure like normal labor, instrumental deliveries, LSCS, etc. operating clinical skills. And sir is presently working as a professor in the postgraduate department of Prasuti-Tantra and Sriyoga of Alva's Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital, Noida. Sir also organized 2 national seminars titled Practical Approach in PCOD in the year 2015 and workshop on Garbha Sanskara and Eugenes and conference on Sukha Prasava in the year 2018. Sir presented papers in national and international seminars. So start with the first scientific session, and today's the topic of the presentation is evidence-based protocol in the management of female infertility. Over to you, sir.
Respected teachers and my dear students, so I feel pretty much blessed today. So to present my topic in front of my lesson teachers, because this is my mother institute, whatever the ABCD of Ayurveda I learned, I started here itself. So the teachers who taught us Ayurveda in college made me to stand today in front of you and share my experiences regarding the topic. So if you expect me to teach any type of the detailed theory, so then definitely you will be disappointed because I am not going to explain the theory here. So my way will be totally dependent on the evidence-based protocols. How the case comes, how I treated, what was the outcome of that treatment, and how easily you can adopt if you want in your next practices. We learn or we hear when we come to the final year that Ayurveda has a lot of scope in the Prasuti Tantra and Stree Roga. Except other sciences, our science has a lot of benefits, lot of good medicines, lot of good protocols in the management of Prasuti and Stree Roga disorders. So we learn that often and often during our final year practice. But what happens practically is, when you enter into the internship, when you go to the modern hospital posting, everything will be vanished. Because you see a lot of patients in the modern hospital OPDs, but little patients in the Ayurveda college. This is the burning truth. But still, if you generate interest in the field of Ayurveda, because when we were sitting in that benches, our teachers had a lot of effort to increase the patient and whatever the practical knowledge, maybe little in comparison to today, but our teachers made a lot of efforts to teach us practically and train us practically. But now you have a lot of patients in the hospitals, and I hope you will be more perfect than us. The thing is, you have to generate the interest. So with this, we'll start with the next slide, please. So the first group which I saw in this college when I entered in the DCM college, so Dr. B.S. Patil sir, so with the blessings of him, so he will be more happy today if he is present, if he see his student presenting like this, so he will be more happy. Anyway, sir, you will be always live in our hearts. We will take your blessings. With these blessings, I will start my topic. So, what exactly is the female infertility? So, it is nothing but the definition, you know, very popular definition. So, it is defined as a failure to conceive within 1 or more years of regular unprotected partners. So, regular means at least 4 to 5 times per week without having any type of the contraceptions. So, if after 1 year or more years, if she failed to conceive, then we consider her as infertile. And there are 2 types of infertility: primary infertility, who never conceived; secondary infertility, conceived, but second time she failed to conceive. And the first pregnancy, maybe it is abortion or maybe it is live birth. So whatever, we consider her as secondary infertility category. And the chance of conception, it should be noted in your mind compulsory, because whenever the patient comes, whenever the couple comes to you and ask for the fertility chances, we can't tell them within 6 months, within 3 months I will give result, because whenever we finish our internship, so we will have that enthusiasm. We want to deliver the results as early as possible. But note that the chance of conception was clearly explained in the text, that is fecundity. So it is fecundability means achieving a pregnancy in a single menstrual cycle. So if you treat for 1 cycle, in that menstrual cycle, what will be the possibility of achieving pregnancy? So that will be hardly 20% if the couple are healthy. If both are not having any problem, still you give treatment, still they have only 20% of the chances. So that is how we can't assure the couple Within 3 months you are going to get conceived, within 4 months you are going to conceive. So our science is having a lot of medicines, lot of good medicines. So before giving any type of the assurance, understand the reality. So this is the 20% chance only. So at least a couple should try for 1 year to get the desired results. And the fecundity, it is the probability of achieving a live birth. There is 20% chance of achieving pregnancy, but the continuation of pregnancy till the delivery, again the probability decreases. Again there is decrease in the probability. Because as an obstetrician, it is not our prime goal is to make them or to help them to achieve the pregnancy. But finally, delivering and handovering the healthy baby to the mother. So till that our responsibility continues. That is how fecundity is the probability of achieving a live birth within a single cycle. If in that cycle she conceived, whether the pregnancy continued till the delivery or not. So that probability is nothing but the fecundity. So among 20%, nowadays the fecundity, it is almost less than 10% only. So because of lifestyle modifications, because of the stress, and because of the hospitals where they made them, so where they tell them not to do any type of the exertional activities. This is a very sensitive condition. This is very sensitive time. You have to take bed rest. So lot of these advices make them very much tense. Because of that, there may be fall in the rate of fecundity. Next, please. Yes. So again, what already we discussed, what is the chances of or the incidence of infertility? So usually 80% of the couples, if they desire to become pregnant, if they undergo regular unprotected coitus, then definitely they will conceive within 1 year after that plan. But remaining 20%, the same thing will continue with the regular unprotected coitus. Remaining 10%, they will conceive in the second year. So hardly 10% people, they remain as infertile. So that is why I told this word, because if a patient comes within 1 year of marriage, because of that anxiety to conceive, because of the family problems, because of the pressure in the family, or because their friends, the person in their families, they conceived early. By seeing them, they thought herself some problem is there in their body. But actually, we could not consider her as infertile. We have to educate them, we have to motivate them to try for pregnancy without giving any medicines. And also, if there is some little problems, you can correct with the medicines. But ultimately, we have to give at least 2 years of the chances, mandatory. Forget about the age, because I may be, my words may be controversial, because forget about the age means the people nowadays who are practicing in infertility, after 30 years, they consider female as in a critical condition. So it is her critical condition. There may be fall in the chances of fertility. But according to me, what I experienced since last 10 years of my experience, age doesn't matter. Whatever the age may be. We had so many cases witnessed who married at the age of 36, 37 years, and with the treatment they conceived in 39 years without any complications. They delivered normally. So this was my experience. That is how, what I tell, you just motivate them, or you just educate the couple to have that type of unprotected coitus at least for 1 year. If after 1 year also she didn't conceive, then you can start your intervention. Next please. So there are a lot of causes of infertility. There are ovarian causes, there are tubal causes, there are endocrinal causes, there are uterine causes, there are vaginal factors, there are cervical factors. So many factors are there. So one by one we are going to see the incidents, the conditions with the example of cases. How the cases will come to you. So first, before that, according to the FIGO manual, the causes are so and so what I discussed now. Let us moving into the ovarian factors. What all the ovarian factors? So how ovary is responsible for infertility? So there are anovulation or delayed ovulation, oligo-ovulation. So usually if the female have 28 days of menstrual cycle, it is believed that her ovulation will be in between 12 to 16. Okay? But nowadays, because of some menstrual irregularities, the ovulation time may be delayed. She may ovulate on the 20th day, 24th day because of 45 days cycle or more than that. We can't estimate that. So we can't estimate. It is not a practical rule that who is having cycle length more than 35 days is not at all going to conceive. So there are possibilities of conception even if she have the delayed menstruation. So that is why we believe that oligo-ovulation and anovulation is one of the manifestation of ovarian factor. And the second one is decreased ovarian reserve. So we see a lot of cases. We don't know why it is happening. There should be I strongly suggest there should be a survey among the young age females, especially college going females, where we can see because of the education and their career build up. So they give more concentration on that. When they marry and when they go to a doctor, suddenly they will come to know their ovarian reserve has been decreased. So pathetic condition. So there will be lot of stress on the female when they come with the complaints of decreased ovarian failure. And as per me, this condition is a marketed condition in the field of artificial reproductive techniques, where they force the couple or they pressurize the couple to go for IVF manometers. And because of that stress, couples don't think and directly go for the IVF management. And the next one, luteal phase defect. After the rupture of follicle, the progesterone should maintain the secretory changes. Because of the corpus luteum failure to secrete progesterone, there will be early withdrawal of progesterone effects. If the pregnancy there, if the zygote is implanted, because of lack of secretory changes, it will come out. So there will be chances of spontaneous abortion. Or vice versa, there may not be implantation also. Then the next one is luteinized unruptured follicle. So this will be very much disappointing condition for a doctor. We give lot of medicines. We have hope that this cycle she may get conceived. Or this cycle our target is to achieve the proper ovulation. And in the follicular study you come to know there is proper growth of the Graafian follicle. But when it crosses 20 mm, it will not rupture. Whatever the effort you do, it will not rupture. It happens so many times when you start your practice. That time, your total 14 days effort will be vanished. So it will be wasted. And again, you have to convince the patient a lot of time, because more than us, couple are disappointed. So we have to tell them the truth. This cycle is no use for the fertility, and we have to target the next cycle. For us, this is next cycle, but for her, it is next month. So it will be lot of time for her to spend in a hospital. And again, she have to take the medicines. Again, she have to go for the follicular study. So it will be most burdening condition for the couples. So that is why, in all these conditions, how we have to go with the Ayurveda management. Next, please. So first, especially in the case of anovulation or oligo-ovulation, so we have much more practically evidenced protocols. The first one is Chirakali Taila, and an article also we published, a pilot study on the efficacy of Chirakali Taila. So this formula is made by me only. Next, please. Yes. The type of patients which we selected in this, usually the age group between 20 to 35 years, is the reproductive age only, and patients diagnosed as ovarian dysfunction. There may be anovulation, unruptured follicle, luteal phase defect, everything all together I included in this pilot study, with or without PCOS. See, now you have seen that so many cases of PCOS. Frankly, I will say, during my 3 years of PG, I had seen hardly 3 to 4 cases of PCOD in all my 3 years. But now, every day, more than 10 cases I am seeing suffering from PCOD. So that is how, with or without PCOD, ovulated dysfunction also I included in this study. And these are the exclusion criteria like systemic diseases, thyroid dysfunction, STD, HIV positive patients I excluded. Patients who are taking muscipils, patients who are having premature ovarian failure because they need still more lot of exercises to correct the FSH and LH, then I can go for the ovulation. That's why this condition I excluded. And resistant ovarian syndrome. Why? Why I excluded this? Because frankly speaking, whatever the patients we get, all are second-hand patients only. They go to modern hospitals, they go to other centers, they go to IVF centers, and finally, when there is nothing results they got, they come to Ayurveda. And they want early result also. And in their mind, they will have the fact that Ayurveda has very slow process. That is why we are asking, we want early result. See, very much ridiculous this is. That is why this resistant ovarian syndrome I excluded. Lot of gonadotropin injections, lot of medicines like clomiphene citrate, then the letrozole. In the last successive 1 year, they took lot of medicines and the HMG injections also, gonadotropins also, some GnRH agonist also. With all that treatment, completely there is lost bonding with the ovaries and the pituitary. So that axis has been broken up. So in that case, how we can expect in one cycle, we can get the ovulation. That is why this condition needs some exercises to bring back into the normal position. Then we can give this Chirakali. Next please. Yes. So the ingredients, in the beginning only I made this formula, nothing special in the mind. As a student, when you are sitting there, like that only I thought. So the first one is Krishna Tila. It is best Arthavajanaka. I will use this. Krishna Chiraka. It is also best Arthavajanaka. I will use this. Shatapushpa, Lashuna, Vidarikanda, Shatavari. All drugs are Arthavajanakas and all drugs are highlighted in the classics. Is it not? It is highlighted as a best medicine for female infertility, best medicines in the female menstrual irregularities, especially in the yoni vapor and the arthava vapors. So one by one drug I picked. All the drugs I made into Taila form using Murchita Tila Taila. The dosage, next please. So 3 consecutive menstrual cycles I targeted to give my medicine. The dosage will be 10 to 15 ml BD before food with the anupana of Kshira Sharkara. So with this dosage regularly from day 2 of cycle or day 3 of cycle till the ovulation happens. Till that 10 to 15 ml Chirakali Taila was given orally. Okay. And during treatment, patients were called on the day 3 of every cycle for baseline scan. This is very important because if the patient is suffering from luteinized unruptured follicles or PCOS. If you don't go for the baseline study, you can't differentiate in this present cycle which follicle you are going to stimulate, whether it is a previous retaining cyst or a healthy new formed follicle. So if it is a previous retaining cyst, with the medicine, if you stimulate that, it is no use for the fertilization. So in this cycle, this remaining cyst which developed because of your Gnana, if it ruptures also, it is of no use in the present cycle. That is why baseline scan should be done. It is a normal pelvic scan done on the day 2 or day 3 of the menstrual cycle, where you will get proper differentiation, which is the healthy follicle and which are the remaining cysts. If the previous remaining cysts are more, do not go for stimulation. First, let the follicles or let the cyst should resolve. In the next successive cycles, we can give the treatment. Then, if the baseline scan showed proper antral follicles, then I will stimulate it with the Gnana, and on the day 10th onwards, serial follicular scan till ovulation was followed. After treatment, same was followed for one cycle also. So that is 3 months I gave the medicine and I did all this follicular study, and after 3 months again 1 month without medicine also I did the follicular study to check whether the sustained effect of that drug is there or not. Next please. So the diagnostic criteria who are having irregular menstruation also included follicular study, at least 2 anovulatory cycle report if she have in the previous treatment. That cycle also that patients only I included, because there may be problem or there may be question rises in the research field. If they have normal follicular reports, then why did you stimulate it and why you are claiming the result? That is why at least last 2 successive cycles who have the reports of anovulatory cycles, only those cases were admitted in this present study. And the objective and subjective parameters for the assessment: regular, irregular menses, what was the result before and after, and follicular study, what was the result before and after, duration between the cycle, whether there is any alteration, because I included PCOS also. And regular TVS was carried out from the day 9th of menstrual cycle till the ovulation. Okay. And in all patients, TVS was carried out for 3 consecutive cycles and on the 4th consecutive cycle also. In some patients, if needed, I did hormonal assay and ovarian result, like anti-Mullerian hormone. So that time it was very much costlier. The AMH was costing around 4,200 rupees MRP that time. Now it is hardly 1400 to 1800 in that range. So that is why not in all cases I did AMH, I did in a 2 or 3 cases more. So blood investigations, routine screening we did. Next please. So this was the results showing in the follicular growth. So before treatment, all 20 patients showing no dominant follicles. After treatment, you can see 14 patients show more than 18 mm of the follicles. Why we skipped that 6 patients? Why only 14 patients? Where about that 6 extra patients? Okay. So this point, just keep it as a question. The next one is, what is the result on the menstrual cycle length? So 20 patients where 10 patients were suffering from cycle length between 35 to 40 before treatment, and 6 patients were having more than 45 days cycle, and 4 patients were having more than 90 days of cycle before treatment. And at the end of 3rd month, you can see 14 patients, they achieved normal duration 28 to 34 days. So the drug is not only benefiting for ovulation, but also it is helping for the regularization of the cycle, right? So then what about that 6 patients? So those 6 patients, they conceived in the 2nd or 3rd cycle only. Okay, within that 3 months of treatment, within that duration, they conceive. That is why we are not showing it in the results of before and after and the before and after menstrual cycle. So 6 patients conceived. See, in the 3 months, with using the best drugs told in the classics, altogether combination made it into a thyla, we got very good results. 6 patients in 3 months, that too among 20, is almost around more than 30% result. Okay? So even if you go with the IVF treatment, the IVF center also, they claim hardly 17 to 20% results per year. But here it is more than that. See, this is the one protocol we can adopt positively in the practices of oligo-ovulation. Next please. The next yoga which I want to suggest again for anovulation, that is the Jyotish Madhyadi Kalka. So it is told in the Bhava Prakasha as Kusumam Janyate. So it is helping for the menstruation. So that is in Anartava cases, in the induction of menstruation, they told this Jyotish Madhyadi Kalka. And we tried a research case also. We had submitted a thesis also. So one of my students, she took it as a topic for the research. So a clinical study on the efficacy of Jyotish Madhyadi Kalka in the management of Nashtartava with special reference to anovulation. What are the ingredients? Let us see. So it has only 4 ingredients, easy for the preparation. Asana, that is the Bijakatvak. Then Sarjikshara. Next Vacha and the Jyotish Madhi. Only 4 drugs used, especially the Jyotish Madhyadi Patra. So mainly Jyotish Madhi, Patra, Sarjikshara and Asana. These 3 drugs were taken into equal quantity, and the shloka suggests that Ugra should be taken. So with a thorough discussion with the Dravyaguna person, he told that Ugra, there are a lot of drugs having synonyms of Ugra, but here in this context you have to take the Vacha. So if because of Tikshnata of Vacha and Vamaka property of Vacha, we took 1/8 part of the Vacha in comparison to the all 3 drugs. So with this combination, we gave the drug into 30 patients and we got a very good encouraging result in the thesis topic. After that, I started in my regular practice giving this Jyotish Madhyadi Kalka. See, why I shown this case sheet previously because, yes. So why I shown this case? Because, sir, anybody can tell orally, this drug is good, this drug is good, this drug is good. Okay, you can use this. Whether you use that regularly in your practice, it counts for us. See, for that, I had shown the case where the patient having primary infertility started the treatment of Jyotish Madhyadi Kalka, half teaspoon PID with honey and milk before. Okay. So the treatment was started in the month of 6/1/2020. Next please. Yes. And the treatment ended in the month of 21/4/2020. How many months? Hardly 3 months. The patient shown UPT positive, amenorrhea of 40 days. The patient having same thing, anovulation for at least 2 cycles, irregular menstruation was there, where I gave Jyotish Madhyadi Kalka and got this result. So now this Jyotish Madhyadi Kalka is a regular prescription in my OP. Next please. And another one, interestingly, you are going to see the Swaranakshiri, especially in these areas, it grows like a waste. Have you seen Swaranakshiri plant? Yes, the yellow flower plant. Okay. Whether you have considered it, we know that it is useful in the case of female infertility. But how to use that, we don't know. Right? So, while sitting in a group with my colleagues, like a Tadvidya Sambhara. So we had a proper discussion with one of my senior colleagues in the Uppal college. So where he told that he belongs to a Rajavaidya family. So he told that my grandfather used to give Swaranakshiri in the case of female infertility. How So 40 ml Swarasa, freshly prepared Swarasa, he used to give in the morning only for 3 days. Only for 3 days. On the day 5th of cycle, 5, 6, 7. Only for 3 days. And I had, so he claimed that there was a very good result. And even my father's generation was also continued the same thing. But I failed to continue the same thing. You can try. So we had a lot of plants in our garden and the roadside. So we took the drug Swarnakshiri. See, this is the Swarnakshiri. You know that except Bija, all other parts were taken and crushed into Swarasa. Okay. So 40 ml of Swarasa we gave to 12 patients. Okay. That too before food on the day 5, day 6, day 7. I didn't alter the opinion of the sir because I want to know the result of the Swarnakshiri. So among that 12 patients, what was the result we observed? So that is very interesting. So the inclusion, what type of patients we included? Same primary and secondary infertility. Both I included. 20 to 40 years age group patients also I included. Then patients with or without PCOS. Then end point of my study will be after rupture of matured Graafian follicle. Because I can't expect within 3 months or 4 months of my this pilot study, patient may get conception. Because the Swarnakshiri is very much tikta. Okay? Very much tikta and kashaya rasa. First of all, I want to know whether the patient consumed that Swarasa or not. Okay? So with that interest, I started this case. The investigations, follicular scan in each and every patient, and the criteria, mainly follicular growth and the endometrial thickness. These 2 factors I concentrated. Next please. Yes. What was the results? Next. So at the end of first cycle, these are the 12 patients which are included, and you can see there is proper endometrial thickness. And the day 11, this was the follicular growth, day 12 and this one. And finally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 patients we got ruptured, or the follicle was ruptured. Previous one, yes. And 1, 2, 3. These 3 are ready to rupture in the next successive follicles, next successive days. At the end of second cycle, next please. So again the same patients where 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cases were ruptured and 1, 2 were ready to be ruptured. So in the next successive days, they have ovulation. And 1, 2 cases were left against medical advice. So they left the treatment in between only because of that taste of the medicine. So they were not tolerable. They were having frequency of vomiting when they took the medicine. That is why we skipped that patient. So, at the second month or at the final 3 months pilot study, so after treatment, 7 patients ovulated in the first cycle of treatment, only with the 3 days of medicine. And 2 patients left in between due to palatability issues. And 6 patients out of remaining 10 patients ovulated in the second cycle. 2 patients were conceived after treatment with the assistance of IUL because the husband have issues with the sperm count. That is why in that patients who ovulated, during the ovulation we did the intrauterine insemination. So 2 patients among that 10 patients were conceived with the IUL. See that the 3 months, within 3 months only, again among 10 patients, 2 patients conceived. It is around 20% success. Next please. How we can accept the Swarnakshiri as a fertility agent or a fertility medicine? So after seeing after searching in the pharmacology book, so we got that Swarnakshiri has these properties or these active ingredients: berberine, protopine and the cryptopine. So mainly they belong to the alkaloid groups. And if I searched still deep in the pharmacology book, we came to know that this berberine regulates the FSH and LH ratio. So it is helpful on the maintenance of HPO axis standing. or resetting up of the HPY axis. Then ovarian steroidogenesis. Also it is beneficial for ovarian steroidogenesis. That is the proper production of estrogen and progesterone timely. So at one side it is stimulating the pituitary to produce the FSH and LH properly, and on another hand ovaries also. So it is going to prepare the proper bed for the implantation and proper development of the Garfield follicle. And next, it is also having influence on the hypothalamus. So it is going to increase prolactin. See, this is the very interesting property of the Swarnakshiri. So this Swarnakshiri, not only we can use it in the infertility patients, but also it is beneficial in the lactational deficiency cases. So in the lactational deficiency, we can use Swarnakshiri as one of the agents. Then on the hypothalamus, it is helping in the ovulation induction, increase in the endometrial thickness also. So by all means, we came to know that Swarnakshiri is also a best drug which can be adopted in our regular practice for the ovulatory disease. And finally, what is about the AMH? Okay. So this anti-Mullerian hormone, nowadays it is a very much burdening problem. Whenever the patient comes, directly now the patient tells you, my AMH is very low. The doctor suggested IVF treatment. Whether there is chances of natural conception or not, we don't know. Do you have any medicine to increase the AMH in the Ayurveda? See, the thing is, anti-Mullerian hormone, it usually secretes from the developing antral follicles, and it is a fixed genetic value. Okay. When it is fixed genetic value, we can't increase that. So practically we can't increase that according to the theory. But we have seen a lot of cases where with the treatment of Ayurveda there is alteration in the AMH values, but we can't claim that result because when the AMH is a fixed genetic value, we cannot alter the genetic things only with the management. So that is why forget about the increase or decrease of AMH. Forget about the increase or decrease of the AMH value. Only we have to concentrate what is the chances of getting pregnancy in the low AMH values. So the best treatment which I have chosen, that is the Mantravasti. The reference was taken from the Kashyapa Samhita, where he told Nashtartava, Nashtabija, Anuvasaya. So Anuvasana is very much beneficial in the Nashtartava and Nashtabija. So the lowest dose of Sneha is Mantravasti. So we selected Mantravasti in the cases of low AMH. Next please. So I am going to explain here the most worsened case. By seeing this, you can estimate that in the moderate cases also you can use the Mantravasti. So in the last worsened case, how I get success in the low AMH value with the Mantravasti. So this case I am going to explain here. So she is a PG scholar, a female patient who is doctor. She had age of 31 years, came with the secondary infertility, and last pregnancy was spontaneous abortion. And her baseline scan showed poor ovarian reserve. So that is why I told her to go for the AMH, and the AMH was hardly 0.11. So for your reference, I want to just revise your knowledge here. The proper AMH value is 1.5 to 4. The range should be 1.5 to 4. If it is 4 to 6, she is in the transitional phase of PCOD. If it is more than 6, definitive case of PCOD. If it is below 1.5, impossible for the normal conception is told in the modern science. So we have to go for the assisted reproductive techniques if it is below 1. So it is hardly 0.11. Okay. So here she is a definitive case for IVF management. But she came to me for the natural conception because she can't go for the IVF. She was doing PG in the department. So we started Mantravasti with Mahanarayana Taila 60 ml for 8 days, starting from the starting from the 8th day, sorry, the 3rd day or 4th day of menses. For complete 8 days, every day we give 60 ml of the Matra Vasti. And along with oral drugs, again the Jyotish Matyali Churna, which I told last example, 1 TSP TID with honey, and capsule cocoon is a patent medicine available in the market, 1 TID. It is also best medicine for the infertility or the anovulatory management. The same line of management was continued for 3 cycles, and during treatment, follicular study was carried out. Good quality dominant follicle developed and ruptured spontaneously. Without SCG injection, it was ruptured. Next please. On the 4th cycle, repeated baseline scan and AMH. So we again repeated the baseline scan. The baseline scan showed moderate ovarian reserve. There was improvement in the selection of follicles in the next cycle because of your matras. But you can see the AMH was reduced to 0.07. Again there is fall in the level of 0.07. So then the patient was much more worried because of treatment. Again it was reduced. Then how can conceive whether this treatment was worked out or not? So this was the doubt the patient was having at time. Okay. So what I explained there, if you have money in your pocket, okay, so today you have 100 rupees in your pocket, tomorrow how much it will be there? 90 rupees. Again there will be 60 rupees, 50 rupees. Every day you are spending the money now. Like how the ovarian reserve in every cycle it has to spend. There should be decrease in the levels of the number of follicles because every month it is going to use by the body. Whether it is helpful or not, but the utilization is mandatory. That is why our level was reduced to 0.07, and we gave assurance for natural conception, cleared all doubts for IVF needs, started the same above protocol without busting. Only Jyotish Matyali Churna and cocoon tablets was given. You can see what happened. So she came with the UPT positive report and delivered a female baby in the month of August. A healthy female baby she delivered. It was a challenge to the medical field. I had shared this case in the social media where I got a lot of mixed opinions. How did you get the success in this case? How did you force or how did you convince the patient for natural conception first of all? Okay? Because she is a doctor, she agreed for the Ayurveda. But if the same thing I do in the non-medical field, I have to do a lot of exercises in front of the patient to convince the couple, right? So this Matra Vasti is very good protocol in your practice. It can be done in a OPD level. You cannot arrange, there is no need to arrange any type of the special things in your hospitals or OPDs. Just in a OPD basis, you can follow this model, that Matra Vasti, and it is a big benefit for your clinical practice. Next, please. You can refer complete original case sheet of this case. Not only this case, usually I put my all original case sheets in the Facebook, the facebook.com R3 clinic. I think now 30 plus cases are there, all type of variety cases, and that too most complicated cases I used to present in this social media. You can refer in detail about all that. You can get the genuinity of the opinion where I told in the last example. Next please. So this is about the ovarian factors. What till now we discussed, that is about the ovarian factors. I gave 3 or 4 examples to you. Still lot of examples I am having. Because of the time limitation, I have to restrict myself. Okay? So there are still cocoon, what I told no. So cocoon, next month I am going to present the 100 case success story in the World Ayurveda Congress. The presentation was selected there. So there I am going to put the results of cocoon there, and already the Vijayali Churna reference from the Sahasra Yogam. So that was the thesis submitted in the medical college, and regularly I am using it in the anovulation factors. Sometimes Jyotishmati Churna I give, sometimes Vijayali Churna I give. Both are having equal results. Okay? Very good medicines for the ovulation induction. I use little letrozole and the gamifenicillin, right? Very little. Next, the second factor is tubal and peritoneal factors. When we come across the tubal factor, our first guess will be blockage of the tubes. Okay, so our first guess will be blockage of the tubes. So 30 to 40% cases of female infertility, they suffer from tubal factors, where pelvic infections causing peritubal adhesions, then endosalpingeal damage, previous tubal surgery or sterilization, salpingitis systemica nodosa, tubal endometriosis and others, polyps or mucus debris with the tubal lumen and tubal spasm. Not in all cases our Ayurveda is beneficial, but in some cases we can give positive results in the opening of tubal to make the patent tubal tubes. Next, please. So this is one of the example for tubal blockage. So her age is 40 years. She was suffering from irregular menses, pain in the lower abdomen, not able to conceive from 14 years. 2 times IVF failure was also there in the Harvard hospital. Marital age around 26 years. So what I thought here, at least in the 40 years, we can't assure the fertility, but at least we can open her tubes. Next. So the hysterosalpingiography report, you can see there is endometritis, bilateral salpingitis and bilateral tubal block. Okay. So when there is endometritis and bilateral salpingitis, it is a best indicative of or definitive diagnosis for genital tuberculosis. So she had genital tuberculosis. Because of that, her tubes were blocked. She took anticox treatment for 9 months. Then she came for the Uttaravasti treatment. Next. So this was the report. HSG. You can see the left side is blocked at the carnival end, and right side it is blocked at the 1/3 of the tubes. So both the tubes are completely blocked. Next. So in the second cycle after menstruation, in the first cycle we did HSG. So in the next cycle we called her for the treatment. So that time the Uttaravasti was given for 3 days. I was a beginner at that time, so I don't shy myself because I was knowing very little about the Ayurveda that time. I know Uttaravasti is beneficial, but how to give Uttaravasti I was not knowing. So that is why I made this formula. So I gave it in the Yogavasti form. Wherever the first Anuvasavasti was given with Jatyadivrata because of endometritis, Uttaravasti next day given with Sharatela. Then the next day Nirohavasti was given. Uttaravasti, Nirohavasti, Uttaravasti, Nirohavasti, and finally Anuvasanavasti. So it includes 3 Uttaravasti, 2 Anuvasanavasti, and 3 Nirohavastis. So in this format I had given. Then I discussed it with most of the seniors, and they told that no need to use this one because this will be a hectic for the patient. You can give 3 days continuously Uttaravasti. So nothing will happen. So after coming to know, in the next cycle, next please. So the Nirohavasti ingredients, Keratali Niroha was given. Next. Yes. In the next cycle, 5, 6, 7 Uttaravasti directly with the Sharatala I had given, and next 3 days rest was given. Yes. 8, 9, 10 rest was given, and 11, 12, 13 again Uttaravasti was repeated. Next. So during the treatment, oral medications which I prescribed was Chandraprabhavati, Saptasara Kashaya, and capsule Gynocare. So for 3 months we gave the same medicines. Next. So after 3 months, the hysterosalpingiography shown still the persistence of endometritis because she was a known case of genital tuberculosis. Bilateral salpingitis, you can see tubercular, already they gave tubercular. Because of that, salpingitis was still present, and patent fallopian tubes with minimal spillage contrast into the peritoneal cavity on both sides. Both tubes were open after the 3 months of treatment. Next please. See, previously there was closer at both sides. Now the whole tubes you can see. So with the ovaries also, the tubes are visible now. So the tubes were opened, but I didn't help her, or I was failed to help her to achieve the pregnancy because her age was 40 and already she was a diagnosed case of genital tuberculosis. But at least we helped her for the opening of the tubes. The tubes became patent. Next case. So this was another case. She came from Udod, where we can see this tube properly. That is because of the light we can't see. So the tubes at the right side is completely visible, but at the left side is partially blocked. Okay. So the left tube was blocked. Again the Uttarvasti was given for 3 cycles, and next HSG was repeated in the next cycle, 4th cycle. See, now we can see all the complete tubes on both sides. The same radiologist who performed HSG in the first cycle, there only we repeated the next repeated cycle, and the radiologist was wondered, without accepting the positivity of the Ayurveda, he again blamed the Ayurveda that last time which I gave the report, there may be some mistake. Doctor told you that time only tube was open. How I can give that wrong report? Never the tubes will open with the treatment. That needs compulsory laparoscopy treatment. Like that only he told. Who want us? So I was not bothered about that words, because finally the patient was conceived. This is a beautiful baby. She delivered. She came from all the way to Mudod, Jamshandi, for the delivery only. So every month she used to visit the Koppal for antenatal care, and finally I only delivered the baby. So I don't bother about the words of the radiologist. I don't bother about the blames given to my science, but finally I gave the results. So this was the result where I was very much happy. Next. Then the case 3, where a female patient, 27 years with a 3 years marital life, came into hospital with irregular periods since 3 years and anxious to conceive. She was a diagnosed case of Hashimoto thyroiditis, bilateral tubal blockage, and PCOS. That's why I told in the earlier, we will get always a second-hand patient only. So everything done in the modern hospital, finally they come to us. Okay. So almost we have 3 challenges here. I have to control the Hashimoto thyroiditis, I have to control the PCOS, and finally I have to manage the tubal blockage. Okay. So this was happened during the COVID time because of the work from home facility. Couple shifted from Delhi to Koppal. They did work from home. Within that, they want the treatment for fertility. So Uttarvasti with Sharatayam was given for 2 cycles in Dharti Fertility Center. So initially she was residing in the Delhi. So I had given a reference of doctor in the All India Institute of Medical Science. She went there, but because of inconvenience, what inconvenience she had, I don't know. So she didn't want to go in the aims. She came back to Koppal, and we started the Uttarvasti for 2 cycles. After treatment, due to lockdown, we are unable to repeat the HSG. So soon after, she came in the month of March, April, May, we did the Uttarvasti. Then we referred her back to the Delhi. She was supposed to repeat the HSG, but because of lockdown, so there was all the centers closed. That is why repeat HSG report I can't submit to you. So I can just show the previous month. So gave ovulation stimulation for 2 cycles. We thought that tubes may be open because whenever you are doing the Uttarvasti, you will come to know. First day 1.5 ml it will go. Second day 1.8 ml it will go. In the second cycle, if I am able to push more than 3 ml, definitely the volume is increased. So definitely we have a suspicion that tubes were opened. So with that suspicion, I gave ovulation stimulation for 2 cycles with follicular study. Fortunately, she conceived in the second cycle and USG shown proper implantation with healthy pregnancy. So without HSG also we came to know there is positive results in the Uttarvasti. So Uttaravasti is the best protocol given to the Ayurveda physicians only. Okay? Because modern will be not practicing the Uttaravasti, but now modern doctors who are younger now, who are having the IVF centers, they were referring cases to us for the Uttaravasti purpose, especially in the cases of tubal blockage and especially in the cases of endometrial hypoplasia. For these two cases, modern doctors now, they believe that Ayurveda has very good results because of such witnesses. Next please. Yes. So this was the original case sheet of that patient. You can see 2 cycles, pseudo pregnancy in the last 2 months, because usually in the PCOS, after 35 days or 40 days of menstruation, so there the UPT will show line, weekly positive. So it will make confusion among the patients and among the doctors also, whether I have to go for next cycle treatment or I have to wait. Okay. So after scan, we will confirm that it is a pseudo pregnancy, and clomiphene citrate was taken in the previous cycles. Proguanil tablets were also taken in the 2 cycles previous history. She was known case of Hashimoto thyroiditis and the bilateral PCOS. So we started Uttaravasti with Sharathaila for 3 days, then Shivagutika, then Osteoplex tablets was given. Next. Again, in the next cycle we repeated Shivagutika 2 ml retained, sorry, the Uttaravasti 2 ml retained, and finally at this end we told her to repeat the HSG in the month of 5/2/2020. But because of lockdown, she was unable to repeat her HSG. So ovulation stimulation was done. Next. Yes. And she went to Delhi, and after 2 months, when her UPT showed positive, she sent the report of USG. You can see single intrauterine pregnancy of 7 weeks and 2 days plus 1 week with normal decidual reaction and CRL, and the cardiac activity was also embryonic cardiac activity is seen. So everything was normal. Everything was normal. The patient was very much happy, and again after 6 months she came back to Koppal, did regular AMC in our hospital, and we delivered a healthy female baby. So in our hospital itself. Okay. So this is how we can get the positive results with the Ayurveda. So don't believe the blames of the other science. They were blaming us continuously. Sometimes because of our success they blame, sometimes because of our failures they blame. But consider it as a positive thing and repeated working, hard working and repeated belief in the Ayurveda will give us always success. Next please. Yes. So that is why at the conclusion I want to say that about only tubal factors, not the conclusion of my presentation. Intrauterine Uttaravasti gives highly effective results in the removing tubal blockage with an amazing rate of conception. So it may also be effective for other factors like female infertility and menstrual disorders. As I told, in the endometrial thickening also it is improving, and in the repeated implantation failure. So usually this term became popular in last 5 years of regular IVF management, where they put embryo, it was rejected. Where they transfer embryo, it will reject. So that is the term. That is why the term was newly emerging. That is the recurrent implantation failure. So in that case, Uttaravasti gives very best results in the proper implantation. Next. So next, coming to the uterine factors. What are the uterine factors we practically experience in our OPDs? So there will be uterine hypoplasia. Whatever you do, follicle will grow properly, but the endometrial thickness remains below 5 mm. So that is causing, or that is interfering with the implantation. There is fertilization, there is rupture of womb, then there is fertilization. When the fertilized womb comes to the uterus, it will not get proper bed for the implantation. What you call it as Kshetra Drushti, right? So that Kshetra Drushti, there will be uterine hypoplasia because of regular use of clomiphene citrate or letrozole like ovulation induction drugs. They have side effect of estrogen receptor blockage. So when there is no estrogen action on the uterus, there will be endometrial hypoplasia. Then inadequate secretory endometrium. So there may be increase, but secretory changes were not proper. Then sometimes fibroid uterus, sometimes endometritis, maybe tubercular or other infectious endometritis also. Uterine synechiae or congenital malformation of the uterus. If it is congenital anomaly, then we can't help them. If it is synechiae, we can remove the adhesions by laparoscopy or laparotomy. Then we can give the chance for conception. Next, please. So one of the thesis also we did on the case of uterine hypoplasia. Among uterine factors, we had selected uterine hypoplasia, where Turanga Ashwagandha Krita was given in 20 patients after day 6 of the cycle. 20 ml morning, 20 ml night, along with the milk before food. From day 6th of cycle till day 14th of cycle we gave. And it was compared with the modern drug estradiol valate, what I told you, Progainova tablets, 2 mg. So we had compared with the results of Progainova. So finally, the results what we get, we got, it is very important. So the treatment was given for 2 cycles completely, and in all cases, okay, in all 20 cases, we got good endometrium thickness. So it is not a what we can say exaggerated thing, and it is not the false result I am explaining you here. It is the true result in comparison to the estrogen valate. Equal result I got in the Turanga Ashwagandha Krita in the increase of the endometrium thickness. What type of cases we included here? The patients who are on clomiphene citrate, who are taking letrozole, who are having PCOD, and who are already diagnosed cases of endometrial hypoplasia. Only those cases we selected, and for them only we gave Turanga Ashwagandha Krita 20 ml along with the milk before food morning and night from day 6th of cycle till day 14th of cycle. So in all 20 patients, the endometrial thickness was more than 7 mm only. So this was the final result what we observed. Next please. So then how we can help with the uterine fibroids? Okay. If it is a bigger uterine fibroids, then only it can interfere with the infertility. If it is a subserous uterine fibroid, or if it is posterior wall fundal uterine fibroids, then only there may be problem with the implantation, or it may interfere with the infertility. So in that case, how we can give good results? Next please. So there are some examples where a female patient aged 28 years came to hospital with heavy and prolonged bleeding cyclically. Every month she has heavy and prolonged bleeding, and USG abdomen shown, fatty liver grade 1, bulky uterus, and 2 fibroids in the posterior wall, 2.4 into 1.8 centimeter and 1.9 into 2.0 centimeter. Known case of primary infertility. Next please. And the case 2, female patient of 38 years, primary infertility, 20 years of marital life, diagnosed with at least 4 fibroids in the posterior wall and 4 fibroids in the anterior wall. Endometrium was not visualized properly. There was an endometrial distortion because of the fibroids. In all these 2 cases, what we gave? We gave Uttaravasti of Arpuda Bharat Taila was given for 3 cycles, and what I observed is 1.5 to 2 centimeter reduction in the fibroid size was observed. In all 2 cases, 1.5 to 2 centimeter size was reduced, and the previous case 1 what I told, that 28 years female, she was conceived after Uttaravasti, 3 cycles of Uttaravasti. It was a twin pregnancy, and she delivered 2 male babies, and both babies are healthy. See, at least we can give good results in the field of uterine fibroid. Still, modern also not have any standard drugs for control of uterine fibroids and management of uterine fibroids during infertility. So they are also having more experiments. They are also running with the more experiments, and we also doing more experiments. Even I am not sure about the results of this because number of cases which I gave Arbudahara Taila are very less. Okay? Because most of the uterine fibroid cases they go to modern hospitals. They think there may be chances of cancer in the future. With that fear, they go to modern hospitals. But whatever the little number of cases we get, in that I tried Uttaravasti with Arbudahara Taila. What exactly this Arbudahara Taila is? So what are the ingredients? This Arbudahara Taila, it is a modified form of Arbudahara Lepa told in the Sahasra Yoga. So in the Sahasra Yoga, you will get the reference of Arbudahara Lepa. Okay? So in that Lepa, they told to apply it with the Gomutra. Okay? You have to mix the ingredients with the Gomutra and apply on the lesion. But when we are going to try in the case of Uttaravasti, in the uterine fibroid, we can't apply that. So that is why I made it into Taila form, where because all the dravyas are Tikshna, Chitraka, Chirabilva, Shunti, all Ushnavidya dravyas only they have. So to reduce the thickness, so to reduce that sharpness, we added Gokshira to decrease the thickness of the drug. Gokshira and Taila was used for Taila. And finally, the same drug was tried on 30 cases. We had given this topic to a PG scholar. Successfully she completed all 30 cases. The final result of that thesis was in 3 cycles we are going to get 1.5 to 2 centimeter reduction in the fibroid size. Also, if the smaller size fibroids were there, previous one, yes, you can see this is a small size fibroid. So because of reduction in the size, it was helpful for the conception also, right? Next. So then coming to the cervical factors, I think only 2 factors are remaining. If you are bored, yes, please pardon me. So only 2 factors are remaining. So cervical factors. What is the cervical factor? So exactly, there may be anatomical and physiological. The elongated cervix or a pinhole os, Suchimukhi Yoni Vapor. Okay, so that comes in the anatomical factors. And the physiological one, the mucus may be scanty following the amputation. If there are any carcinoma in situ, cervical carcinoma or cervical lesions where the erosion, where we give cauterization therapy. Following cauterization, cervical secretion becomes very much scanty and thick. Conization or deep cauterization. So the abdominal constituents include excessive viscous or purulent discharge. If cervix contains excessive viscous or purulent discharge, usually in the case of chronic cervicitis, or presence of anti-sperm or sperm immobilizing antibodies may be implicated as immunological factors in the infertility. So how it is going to interfere with the infertility? So the husband has normal count, wife is also having proper growth in the follicles and timely rupture of the follicles. You advise them for the timely coitus. But still after 6 months, 7 months the patient was not conceiving. So this was making you worry. Why? What is the problem? It is almost unexplained infertility. We can't say any type of the conditions there. Next please. So the same case which I witnessed with the history of 6 years of primary infertility, with all reports of both partners normal only, they took modern treatment in many hospitals but failed to conceive. So in this case, what I thought, there may be chances of cervical factor. So that is why I told them post-coital test. So this is a simple test. The only thing is you have to convince the patient. Because in this test, what we will do, we will tell the couple to go for coitus, and soon after coitus, 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 3 hours, 4 to 5 times repeatedly, we will take the cervical sample, posterior vaginal sample. We will smear it on the slide. You have to just see it in the microscope whether the sperms are mobile. So whether the sperms are running properly, or sometimes the sperms may become dead, or some crystals may be there where the sperm touches there and there only it will stand. So it will not move further. Sperm immobilizing factor. If the sperms are dead, then you can definitely diagnose it as presence of anti-sperm antibodies. Okay. So in this case, interestingly, I had seen dead sperms within 1 hour of coitus. All sperms were dead completely, and cervical smear with crystals and offensive odor was there. So there was chronic cervicitis, most crystallization of cervical secretion along with dead sperms. Finally, it is presence of anti-sperm antibodies. What we have to do in this case? So here, because of this, what we did there? Next. So in this case, we did intrauterine insemination of the husband's semen. Because how many times they go for coitus? The sperms will be killed in the cervical area only. That the cervical secretion will not allow to pass inside the uterus. So there we have to bypass that area and insert the sperm inside the uterus. The same thing what I did, intrauterine insemination of husband's semen. In the first cycle only she conceived, and finally she delivered a male baby normally. Okay. So just simple thinking. If everything is normal, still she failed to conceive, then on OPD basis, just you need to have a microscope. So nowadays, each and every hospitals are attached with the lab, right? Each and every lab will have microscope and the slides. Only the thing is, you have to take the sample and see it in the microscope. Okay. That person who is a lab technician, he will focus the slide and give to you. You just need to observe whether the sperms are live, whether they are moving normally, whether there are any crystals. Everything you can identify with your naked eyes. It's a simple procedure, right? So with that simple thinking, in this 6 years of primary infertility, I got success. The patient delivered the same, the male baby. And the same second case, same history was there, but the 4 years of marital life, she conceived with IUI in the 3rd cycle and delivered twin female babies, right? So with the simple thinking also, we can get a proper diagnosis and we can give them positive results. Next please. So finally, coming to the vaginal factors, mainly the atresia of vagina, transverse vaginal septum, septate vagina, narrow introitus causing dyspareunia are included in the congenital group. Vaginitis and purulent discharge may at times be implicated, but pregnancy too often occurs even if the vaginitis is present. While the vaginal discharge, if it is present, it is not the indicative of infertility. So it is not an indicative factor for infertility. Most of the cases, even if the vaginitis is there, the pregnancy will happen. So that is why only these factors we consider as potent causes of infertility. Next please. So now, a very interesting case, a couple with the primary infertility with 4 years of marital life. Okay. They came to hospitals with complaints of dyspareunia, severe dyspareunia. Whenever they want to go for coitus, there was very much pain and the process will not complete. So no consumption of marriage. When we checked per vaginally, the hymen was still intact, that too partial hymen was intact, right? So that is why we told them it was narrow introitus. and the severe pain was there, and the hymen was ruptured but partial, not completely. So modern gynecologists, they suggested vaginoplasty. So what we do in the vaginoplasty is just at the lateral fornices, so the lateral edges of the posterior fourchette, we give little incision and re-stitching, so that the opening will become more wider, right? So this is the treatment referred by the modern gynecologist. But the problem is, practical problem is, soon after delivery, anyway, vaginal introitus become dilated. So already because of vaginoplasty and after delivery, there may be chances of maximum dilatation of the vagina, which may interfere with their sexual life in the future. So this warning was given by the modern gynecologist and also by me. So what we did then, what you can do in these cases, what we can do then, so just simply what we followed is, next, Balashwagandha Taila Yoni Purana was done for 8 days. So 10 ml Balashwagandha Taila was taken, instilled into the vaginal orifice, outer introitus was closed with a tight gauze, told her to sleep for half an hour on the bed, then she have to open the cotton and drain the oil, go to home. So this was done for 8 days. Okay? And third day, we inserted sim speculum without pain. First day, when we performed before treatment, only a finger, little tip of the finger we inserted, the patient was shouting, that much pain she had. On the third day, sim speculum was inserted without pain, and at the end of treatment on the 8th day, we inserted cuspo speculum without pain. So only 8 days of treatment, narrow introitus, no surgery, nothing we did, only the Balashwagandha Taila Purana was done. With this simple treatment, 8 days treatment, her dyspareunia was completely resolved and they went for natural conception, and after treatment on the 4th cycle, she conceived normally and finally she delivered vaginally a live female baby. See, with the simple thinking, we can give positive results. Next, please. So finally, with these examples, please pardon me, I didn't include PCOD in this context because it is also a potent cause of infertility. But if I want to explain the PCOD, I take another one session. I need another one session because that much and materials I am having in my practice. So till today, I proudly can say that more than 5,000 cases of PCOD I had cleared. Among that 5,000 cases, more than 3,000 cases they conceived naturally. So where I used to follow my own run, I only prepared my own formula of PCOD. I don't do hide and seek there. I will explain every ingredient in my practice, every ingredient in my presentation. And if you want to see, it is present in my Facebook login, Facebook page also. You can see all ingredients which are used in the PCOD formula. So because of this reason only, I didn't include the PCOD here. Okay. So that is why now is the time to conclude my presentation. So this Ayurveda is equally effective in managing infertility compared to modern protocols. Right? Ayurveda not have slow results. It is equal result in comparison to the modern results. But at some circumstances, if we go with integrated approach, still more success can be observed. So each and every science has its limitations, right? So considering that limitation, accepting that limitation without ego, if we go with the integrated practice, still positive results we can deliver. So that is why the key of success always in the case of infertility, give more time for the history taking, because history taking will give you 90% of the condition. It will be helpful for formation of protocols. And be patient to listen all the complaints of couples. Why I added this point? Because the patient complaint will start with the family members. My mother-in-law tells like this, my family members tells like this, my husband's sister tells like this, they blame me like this, my husband treat me like this, like with all that complaints, finally she will tell you what is the presenting complaint. So that point we need to add. So we can't be rude with the patient. We have to listen everything patiently. Whatever the point is needed, that we have to note down in the case sheet. So that is why be patient to listen all the complaints of couple and motivate in every visit to all patients, because we can't, it is not like cough, cold and fever. You give medicine, everything will be clear. Next time patient, whenever she have that complaint, after 1 year, 2 years, she will reach. It is not like that, because we want to hold the patients for years together, because the chances of fertility is almost 10 to 15% only. So if you want to give success to them, definitely at least 1 year of treatment is needed. So with all success, with that success, telling them examples, you have to hold the patient for at least 1 year. So that is why in each and every cycle we have to motivate them, and every visit we have to tell them to take the medicines properly. Right? So this is how the key of success of female infertility practice. So with this, thank you. Thank you for the patience. Organizers for selecting me to share my clinical views, little clinical experiences. So if you have any doubts, you can visit my Facebook page or you can contact me directly. If you have any patients data, if you have any doubts, you can discuss me always. So I feel very much lucky to present here and to present my clinical experiences in front of the lesson, my teachers who are always motivational for me. So thank you once again for the organizers.
You use product seed. Product seed is actually Mexican is cardiac policy. So it retains the body fluids. So what dosage and in what form and how many days would you recommend?
So Swarnakshiri, we used 40 ml freshly prepared sprasa except bija. All other parts we used, and the leaf and the flower. So we used that, and 40 ml dosage only for 3 days. 5, 6, 7. Day 5, day 6, day 7. Only for 3 days we used. Considering that poisoning effect, only for 3 days we used. And we didn't saw any such type of complications.
You never had any complications?
No.
Is there any raise in the systolic?
No. No. Only 2 patients they left because of palatability issues. Anupana with Shira and Shankara.
Shira. What is it? Shira you use. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable knowledge with us. And I request the delegates to write your findings in the papers given to you and hand over to us. It will be discussed at the panel discussion. Now I request Dr. Santosh Parvati sir, Dr. J.P. Faspi sir, and Dr. Swarnakshiri Khan to facilitate the resource person. Dr. Sanjay M. Katimati, sir, completed their BAMS in the year 2001 from SVM Ayurvedic Medical College, Karnataka, MD in Child Chikitsa in the year 2006 from Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Mumbai, and also sir completed their post-graduation diploma in Yoga and Naturopathy in the year 2009, PhD in the year 2010 from Jamnagar, Gujarat. And in both the topic of research is role of fecal cleanovasty and rasayana in asthikshaya, osteopenia and osteoporosis. First PhD research, this is in Ayurveda on the topic osteoporosis. Sir got the second rank with the silver medal in the final year BMS exams. So also one of his paper presentations in 3 national conferences, and sir is a visiting faculty in Vedic Gurukula, Embry-Villa, California, USA. Sir has undertaken a research project on osteoporosis, selected for RGHS research grant for fees of 4,50,000 during the year 2015 and 16. Sir has published 12 articles in peer-reviewed journals. Sir has delivered 84 guest talks. Sir has given 9 television radio programs. And with the sir is actively involved in all the academic activities with a different post as a coordinator, Department of Ayurvedic Medical Education, and sir also worked as a coordinator of Medical Research Cell. Sir is a member secretary as a institutional research committee and institutional ethical committees. And with this, sir, and today's topic of presentation is importance of Agni in cities.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I congratulate the esteemed faculty, Principal Duraj sir, and my friend Santosh, Dr. Samudra sir and team, and also the most active students of third BMS of this DGM Ayurvedic College for organizing this state level seminar, Gnana Kunja. And I like the theme, that is PACS, which is Prasuti, Agada, and my topic now is C. C stands for Veda. So in that, I was especially requested to talk about Agni. So I'm sure that it's a free lunch session. So before we go to lunch, I definitely make your another stronger so that you can enjoy lunch. And without wasting much time, we'll start with this. All of you are college students? Our faculty, PG scholars are there, of course, but many of you are college students. And how many are from out of Karnataka? Because my language sometimes in between we need some local languages to make understand about Agni. Anyways, I'll try to give justice to that. I'd like to start this presentation with a wonderful quotation from Bhagavad Gita. While Arjuna was given this teaching from Krishna, in chapter number 15, he tells this wonderful sloka. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritam. That means Krishna says, I am present in your body in the Agni. Because I don't know how much you have heard the drug name Vaishvanara Churna. Vaishvanara Churna is given to enhance the Agni. So Vaishvanara is a synonym of Agni. So Krishna says, I am present in all the living beings in the form of Vaishvanara. Pranapana Samayuktana Pachamyannam Chaturvidam. So we know what are Chaturvidanas. Bhaksha, Leya, Bhojya, Peya, okay, some say Chosha, etc. So all those 4 annas in the body and digest with the collaboration with Prana to Apana. So you know Prana, some people say Prana is not related to digestion, but it's wrong. Anna Pravesha is in Prana. If Prana is affected, the deglutition is problematic. Anna Pravesha will not happen. Then even though Urasthana Pudana says there, it is a way to enter the Anna to the throat. So that is also there. Samana, of course, directly proportional. Vyana, Vyana and Rasa Pradivishepta Kramana. That means the Rasa performed the digestion should be thrown into the systemic circulation by whom? By Vyana. And of course, the excretion is because of Apana. That means Digestion is one important function of the body which needs the help of all the 5 pranas, I mean 5s. That's why he says, prana prana samayuktaha pachamannam chitridam. So these are my students in USA. When I go to teach there for America, my students, I don't know how many of you pray before eating. And we eat while standing, while running, while walking, all pizza, burger, etc. So you can see these people are eating only traditional khichdi is there. The pig is khichdi and they have all sorts of Indian traditional foods. And this is also from Bhagavad Gita. Maharpanam means what? It's very important, listen carefully. Whenever we are eating a food, it is nothing but we are performing yajna. You understand or not, I don't know. That is why Charaka says in Vimanasthana, Tanmanaha Bunjit. Snigdhamastniya, Dushnamastniya, Asan, Ahajalpan. Okay, Tanmanaha Bunjit means concentration you are doing. What happens is, our right hand and mouth are connected, but your left hand and eyes are connected in the mobile. Correct? Then that is not Tanmanaha Bunjit. And sometimes whether the morsel will go into the nose also nobody knows. Okay, so that much of busy you are in the mobile and eating. That will not prepare the proper rasa or rakta. That will become mala only. I am very serious about this. You may laugh at this, but I am very serious because all the acharyas have told Tanmana only. Because, see, Brahmanapada means whatever Agni is present here, you are putting something to it. You are putting a Havish into it. Then Brahma now, you are putting that Ahara into the Brahmagni. Then comes what? Brahmana Hautam. Havana means what? Yajna. Isko havan kar rahe ho, Brahma ko havan kar rahe ho. This is also from Bhagavad Gita. Brahmeva tena gantavyam. If you do this, you will become just like a Brahma. That means you will become so glorious and positive response in your life. Brahma karma samadhi now. That means one who does this will become just like a Brahman. That means the Atma Sakshi will develop in that and the entire food will be nourishing you. So we are all sitting on the chairs and tables. See, my students are sitting on the floor. Okay. Can you expect previous slide? Next. Not next. Previous. See, this is a oncologist, cancer surgeon. He is in USA, California, and here I am sitting. And this is a great Bhushan Patwardhan sir. I think Santosh Bhavid sir knows. He was the VC of Symbiose University who worked on more Ayurvedic plants. So all our students are sitting on the floor and learning the Gurukul system. But in India, we have Dal Ki Murgi Dal Barabar, right? So हमारा हमको अच्छा नहीं लगता. दूसरों का हमको पिज़्ज़ा खाना अच्छा नहीं है, लेकिन उनको चपाती खाना अच्छा है, हमको पिज़्ज़ा खाना अच्छा है. The grass is greener always on the other side. Next slide. See, that's what I said. Whenever you are doing ahar sevana, here is the Agni, and this is the Havisha or the summits what you are putting. All the grains or whatever ghee or whatever it is that you are putting there. That means if you do the prarthana, if you do any caste maybe, I am not telling only Hinduism or whatever it is, any caste will be, if you do the prarthana and with tanmanaha, with a dedication towards the food, with love and affection towards the food, not complaining mummy इसमें सब नमक नहीं है, इसमें ये नहीं है, टेस्ट नहीं है, जो भी कंप्लेंट करके खाते हैं ना वो सब मन बन जाता है. अगर सड़ा हुआ भी खाना प्यार से खाते हैं तो रक्त बन जाता है. This is remember. You just remember that what how who will give the good food to the beggars, and the beggars children are more healthier than the Ambani's children. You know how much weight he has lost because of the Mumbai Indians chairman. You know you have seen that, right? So it's equivalent to doing yajna. That is why whenever you are eating, your concentration should be devotionally dedicated to the process of eating. Next one. Why? Because in Chala Samhita, 12th chapter, Sutrasthana, Vata Kalakaliya, at the end he says that Agdireva Sharire Pittantargataha, the Agni which is present outside, inside the body, it is present in the form of Pitta, Pakvamashay Madhyagam, Panchabhuta Kattayati, Yat Tejas Agnodaya, correct? Tekta Dravatam Pakadi Karmanana Sattam. Right? So here, this Pitta, Kupita, Shiva Shivani Karoti. If it is Kupita, Shiva Karoti, it is Akupita, Shiva Karoti. Okay, so what are the functions of Agni given in the 15th of Chikitsa, this Grahani. What is the chapter name? Grahani Vyadhi Chikitsa or Grahani Dosha Chikitsa? Grahani Vyadhi? Why Grahani Dosha? Answers given by Chakrapani, I will tell you afterwards. Functions of Agni, I will go fast. Ayu, Varnam, Balam, Swastham, Utsaho, Vachayo, Prabhaha. Ojas, Tejo, Agneha, Pranas, Chokta, Deha, Agni, Hetukaha. So all these are Deha, Agni, Hetu. Leave that. Third line is very important. See, now in Uttar Karnataka and some southern Maharashtra also, whenever a person is dead, they will say, Daika Tanagayahu, Satanavanka. Daika Tanagayahu, cold and climate activities. Because the temperature of the body is gone. He has become cold. Shante Agno Mriyate. Charaka says the same thing. If the Agni is Shanta, you are dead. Shante Agno Mriyate. Yukte Chiram Jivati. If Agni is properly positioned, you will live a long life, not just long life, Anamayaha, without any disease. Because Sarveroga, okay, that also we discuss. It is not Mandaki, it is wrongly written. Charaka is the greatest Samhita in the world. I prove why Charaka is great. It is not just Mandaki, I tell you. Fine, you have been taught Sarveroga Mandaki, some acharyas will tell that also. That is not wrong, but there is something else that I have learned from the third Samhita. Rogi Satrikrute. If the Agni is normal, you are living fine. If the Agni is Shanta, you are dying. If the Agni is Vikruta, you will become a Rogi. Moola Bhaktis Tasmat Niruchate. That is why the entire life, the root or the base of everything is Agni. Next. These all I need not tell, but many students, because this conference Dr. Santosh told me is for third year students. So I have to come to their level. Even though I have done PhD from Jamnagar, I am not supposed to tell something which goes above your head. Okay. So Jadaragni, Bhutagni, Dhatwagni, all three are told. There are 13 Agnis. But majority of your lifetime, even after PG and PhD, we don't care Bhutagnis and Dhatwagnis. We just talk about Jadaragni. So there is a beautiful quotation in Ashtanga. Swasthanastasya kaya gnanamshaha dhatu samstitaha. Swasthanastasya kaya gnanamshaha means Jadaragni का जो अंश है धातु samstitaha. It's present in the dhatu. Tesham sadatityabhyam dhatu vrutti shayodhavats. So by the essence of its sadha and aditya dhatwagni, it will decide whether the dhatu is increasing or decreasing. Now sir, you have clarified the function of dhatwagni, then what is the role of bhutagni? See, if somebody is a non-vegetarian, you are eating a leg piece of a chicken, so that will become a leg mamsa directly. So chicken jageh पैर बैठ जाएगा. Now you are understanding the importance of bhutagnis. Bhutagnis will convert the vijatiya ahara tattva into sajatiya ahara tattva. The mamsa of other animal is the vijatiya for our body, it cannot be recognized. So by the Pancha Mahabhuti combination, the Pancha Mahabhutas will act on the food and convert the vijatiya ahara tattva into sajatiya ahara tattva. Then only the Dhatwagnis can recognize it, or else it will not recognize. If you want clear examination, I will tell you. Mother will come and tell that, sir, ये बहुत खाता है लेकिन weight नहीं बढ़ रहा. Mother will complain for the children. भात इतना नहीं, ऐसा non-veg, mutton, chicken इतना नहीं, but महीना चावल पड़ा था ना. Because whatever is eating is not absorbed properly. That means it is not converted by the bhutagnis properly. If it is not converted by the bhutagnis properly, Dhatwagnis cannot recognize. Remember the Kale Kapota Nyaya. In Kale Kapota Nyaya, the doves or the pigeons will come and select whatever they want. That means the Dhatwagnis. From the Aharasa, they will not select others. They are not greedy like human beings. Nidra but Avangila. Means Mamsa Poshakamsas will be taken by the Mamsa Dhatwagni. Asti Poshakamsas will be taken by the Asti Dhatwagni and they will convert into Sthayi Dhatus. If this conversion of, see, Goma, Apya, Agneya, Vayavyaha, Panchashmana, Salavasaha, Akashagni. If these five are initiated, that cannot convert the Vijatiya Tattva body heterologous. English body heterologous convert into body homologous. Then only the Dhatwagnis, Saptavir Dera Dhataro Dhatva Dvidapanaha, see Dhatwagnis will act upon that and convert it to the Sthayi Dhatu. Next slide. That is why don't neglect this. See, cause of all discussed, just now we discussed. This I remember, there is one WhatsApp group of ours called as ASU, Ayurveda Siddha and Gnani. In that all great scholars of Ayurveda in the entire India are there. And one doctor from Pune, I will not take the name because it is unethical to take the name, said that Nidane Vakvata Shrestha, Sutrasthane Vakvata, Sharire Shastra Vakvata, Shrestha Vakvatastu Chikitsite. That means he says that shloka, all four sthanas Vagbhata is left. Then I said this guy has some ego, so let me destroy his ego. Okay, and Vagbhata didn't have ego. Vagbhata was Rishi. Aptas will not have ego because they are Rajasthamabhyam Nirmuktaha. Correct? But this man, who is a renowned scholar, Jamnagar PG from basic principles, he had so much of ego. He said that Charaka Sushruta is waste. Only Vagbhata is great for all the four. But Vagbhata didn't have ego because Vagbhata says that न मात्र मात्र मप्यत्र किंचित आगमवर्जितम. जो भी मैंने लिखा है उसको सब मैंने एक मात्रा भी आगमन को छोड़ के नहीं लिखा है, मतलब चरक सुश्रुत को छोड़ के नहीं लिखा है. He agrees and he says that my samhita is for Vishla Markamedasam. That means my book is for Alpabuddhi people. That means those who cannot read and understand Charaka Sushruta. Paracetamol for fever. Why paracetamol? Go read Charaka Sushruta. Okay, that is what is substantial there. Then I said that I started feeling hurt because I love Charaka Samhita most because it's the lowest first side for me. So I said, sir, you are telling this, I agree. Just prove me by this sentence of Vagbhata Roga Sarvepi Mandya Gnau Sutra Mudrani says all the instances of Mandani, but Udara is especially because of Mandani. Then I said, Agni Vikritas are how much? 3. Mandagni, Tikshna and Vishmagni. So आपका मतलब क्या है? Vishmagni और Tikshna is good for health. Is it good for health? Which is good for health? Only Samagni is good for health. Okay. So Vagbhata says this. But see what Charaka says. Same Udara chapter, 13th chapter of Chikitsa. Charaka doesn't use Mandagni, see the shloka. Agni doshan manushanam roga sanjapata vidaha. Malavritya pravartante visheshena udaranita. Difference between Vagbhata and Ashtanga is Charaka is Mandagni. Here it is Agni doshan. मतलब क्या हुआ? अग्नि का दोष कितने हैं? 3. विषमाग्नि, तीक्ष्णाग्नि and मंदाग्नि. On the spot he asked for it. Okay, sorry sir, अभी मैं आगे ऐसा नहीं बोलूँगा. इसलिए चरक से चिकित्सित है. Now I said that you should agree that निदाने चरक श्रेष्ठः, सूत्रस्थाने भी चरकः, चार्य चरक श्रेष्ठः, श्रेष्ठ चरक से चिकित्सित है. Then he started laughing. Okay, so it's not like that. Every samhitas had their limitations. But obviously, the most ancient most science is the Charaka Samhita. After that, it was written, and taking the essence of these two, Vagbhata has written the Ashtanga for making it very simple for the readers of Kali-yuga who had less brain capacity than the people of Satya-yuga. Try to understand this point. Next one. Next. Yeah, this I will not repeat. Vata is Vishmagni, Krita is Tikshna, Kapha is Mandagni, and Samadosha will lead to Samagni, which is very good for health. Next please. This is very important. BMS students of second year, third year, or even final year, or PG, they think Sama means good. Samadosha, Samagnisha, Samadhatu, Malakriya. So like that, Samashana is also good. No. अगर आप लोग एक हॉट पराठा खा रहे हो और लेफ्ट हैंड में कोको कोला है, got the point? It is some methi paratha which is healthy for the body, not aloo paratha. Aloo kam ahitama kanda naam se sam. Charaka Sutra 25 or 40 to number I'm telling you. Never eat potato, never touch potato. It is a ahitama kanda naam. Shrestha kanda yaudu? Shundi. Worst kanda yaudu? Aloo. Okay. So if you are eating aloo paratha, then with the coke which is hot and cold, or else nowadays what happens? Hot paratha is there and you have a raita which is made up of curd. Right? So what is the meaning? Samashana, see there. Pathya apathyam iha ekatra. Pathya apatya दोनों मिलके आप खा रहे हो. Bhuktam samashana matam. So samashana is bad. See Chakramani comments. Pathya apathyam किंचित एकत्र मिलतम यथा रक्तशालान्नम यवकान्नम तथा. Again Charaka 25:40 West Shukadana is Raktasali and worst Shukadana is Yavaka. Yavaka means what? It is a Kudhanya, not Yavaka. So if you are eating both mixed together, one Pathya and one Apatya, that is called as Samashana. Then Vishamashana, everybody, all students including PG scholars, even some teachers also teach it wrong. Vishamashana means irregular food habits. No. Charaka has given a very beautiful definition for Vishamashana. See, there is Adhita Veshana Tantra Yukti, Anagata Veshana Tantra Yukti. Correct? Similarly here 4 times. I ask my patients whether you eat timely. Yes sir, now ask for the correct time ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ 1 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ. Next question. Hasu agida kelte illa in body. You listen. Whether I am hungry or not, I don't know. But it is time to eat, I am eating. That is wrong. See the beautiful quotation of Chak Samhita. Granny only says that Vishama is cortex. Bahu, Alpa, Aprapta Kala, Atita Kala. Bahu. Since 21 years you are eating only 2 chapatis and a cup of rice. Suddenly you jump on to 4 cups and 2 cup of rice. 4 chapatis and 2 cup of rice. That is called as Bahu. Suddenly you are jumping. You should not suddenly jump. How to jump? How to jump or reduce? What is the formula in Ayurveda? Padashika Karma. Told in your Navigandharani Adhyaya, 7th of Sutrasthana. Okay. So suddenly you are jumping into 4 chapatis and 2 cup of rice. That is not good. Bahu. Next, Alpa. Opposite. You are eating 4 chapatis and 2 cup of rice. You want to weight reduce the weight. Suddenly you are coming to 1 chapati and no rice. That is also wrong. Suddenly Marva. Alpa. Next, Aprapta Kala. Now it is 7:45. You are not hungry, but you have meeting at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock मुझे खाने को नहीं मिलता इसलिए अभी खा लो. अप्राप्त काला means अभी भूख नहीं लगा है आप खा रहे हो. That's called as अप्राप्त काला. And अतीत काला. Now I will drag this lecture for 3 hours. And you are hungry. What happens? You will take lunch at 3 o'clock. That is also called as अतीत काला. बीत गया. Okay. These 4 if you do regularly, that is called as Vishamashana. Okay. Next. Adyashana. Okay. पूर्ण भुगतान शेषे पीछे खाना आया है जो अभी डाइजेस्ट नहीं हुआ है और फिर से आप खा रहे हो. That is called as Adyashana. Next. Yeah. Gnana Kunja. This is also from Charaka. Chikta 50. Abhojana. Many students now are of beauty conscious or health conscious or they are weight conscious. I am reminding you people that if you think that veda is not good for your body, take this health thing out of your mind. Veda should be there in the body. अगर बॉडी में मेद ही नहीं है तो आगे कौन सा धातु है? सार भाग कहाँ से जाएगा? अस्थि का सार कहाँ से जाएगा? मेदा. So cholesterol is good for health now. Those idiot Western people first they said that the cholesterol is bad for us, that by giving statins. Now by giving statins, there will be permanent damage to the pancreas. So now the statins are banned. Okay, they were given license to kill by giving remdesivir. But whoever took Ayurveda, no COVID patient died. But whoever went to hospital and took remdesivir, never came back home. This is allopathy for you. Okay, so they say that statins are good and fat is bad. But we say fat is good because the sara bhaga from the meda only should go to the asti. That is why my PS is osteoporosis. 90% of the patients of osteoporosis either of obesity or BMI less than 19. BMI less than 19 means which prakriti? What prakriti? Remember your Ashraya Bhava. Yade kasa kadalase vardhanakshya panaushadam asti maradayor naiva. Means Vata and Asti are inversely proportional to each other. Vata बढ़ेगा तो Asti घटेगा, Asti बढ़ेगा तो Vata घटेगा. So BMI less than 19. See, remember now go home and take a BMI. If your BMI is less than 19, take care of yourself. Eat some ghee. Okay, don't eat paneer. Paneer is the most daridra food in the world. Charaka Sutra 5. Kila atta. Nasta kshiro gana bhagaha. Indu ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಚಕ್ರ ಪಾಣಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರ ನಷ್ಟ ಕ್ಷೀರ ಹಾಲು ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದು ಘನ ಭಾಗ hard particle. What is that? He says it is the most daridra food in the world. That's why more cardiac diseases are more compared to your grandparents. There was no money at that time. ಹಾಲು ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅವರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮನೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹಾಲು ಕುಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಹೊಡೆದೋಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಸಣ್ಣ ಹಳ್ಳಿಯವನ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕಲಿತೀನಿ ಬಾಲ್ಕೋಟೆ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಅಮೆರಿಕ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಅಲ್ಲ. small village like come from. ಹಾಲು ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ ಅವಶ್ಯಕಗಳು ಅಂತಾರೆ. ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಚಲೋ ಹಾಲು ಹೊಡಿಸಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪನ್ನೀರ್ ತಿಂತೀರಿ. The most daridra food in the world. Don't touch it. I am sorry if it's paneer for the lunch today. So, abhojana, Nati bhojana. Next, Vishamashana. If you are eating Ajinati bhojana, abhojana, Vishamashana. So develop some fat in the body. Fat is good for your health, not bad for you. Okay. So all this what happens? Dushati Agnihi, Agni usually takes place. Now become serious and concentrate on this time. Jokes apart. Sa dushto, if that Agni is Dushta, Annam na tat pachati lagu api. एकदम लाइट फूड को भी और डाइजेस्ट नहीं कर सकता. अन्नम न तत्पचति लघु अपि. Digest not happens, what happens? Apacchamanam shuddhatvam yaktannam visharupatam. If this apacchamanam anna stays there in the body for a long time, why masha is the worst to the handya according to Sharak Sutra 25 or 40 shloka number? Because masha ferments. Even though masha is shukrana, masha is the worst to the handya, shibidhanya. Best is mudga, masha is worst because it ferments. That is why people of Amla Pitta and Pitta Shivya should never touch masha. It is also Dilbakar. Okay, so that is why we say whatever ferments, Shukta means what? Shukta Kalpana means Asparasya Kalpana. That food staying in the body unmoved attains Shuktata, Yaktannam Visharupatam, and food becomes Visha, and among all the Vishas, Gora Visha is Ama Visha, again Charak Sutra 25-40, because if you want to treat the Ama Visha by Deepana Pachana and Ushna, it is because it spreads fast. And if you want to stop the spreading and use Shita, it increases Ama. That is why it is Viruddhopakrama. King Cobra's poison is good, but Ama Visha is the most worst. Remember this. Next one. See, that is why he says, see the last word. What is this? Not Anna Visha. Ghoram Anna Visha. The deadliest poison is the undigested food in the body. That is why take care of your Agni. It's the most important part of this conference. Tasya lingam ajirnasya. If you are ajirna, then you are suffering from Istamba Sadana, Jirasoruk, Murcha, Brahma, Pushta, Kritigraha, Jumma, Namardan, Dushnacha, Jarascharti, Pravahanam, Arochako, Ghoram Anna Visha. Next time. See, why Grahani Dosha, why not Grahani Roga? The clarification is given by Chakrapani. And one more joke or seriousness, every time since 15 years in KLE or PUS and even in America, I tell my students that reading the Charaka without Chakrapani is going to honeymoon without your spouse. Right now, for lifelong. If you want to enjoy the honeymoon, you have to go with your spouse. Okay? So if you read Chakrapani without Chakrapani, it is, you cannot enjoy Shastra. This is my common dialogue since 2007 when I became first time, because of CPC classes, my guru in Jamnagar. Okay, so he always tells that Poste Alopathy, Poste Ayurveda. All Jamnagar, Udupi people and Hassan people will know because they are all students of CPC classes. You talk Alopathy because now the generation is fast and they all do Google doctors, that means they search everything. So you talk Alopathy to them. But post Ayurveda, internally in our heart, there should be Ayurveda. Treat with Ayurveda. Talk with allopathy, treat with Ayurveda. Take the help of allopathy for diagnosing. But your treatment should be pure Ayurveda. Remember this. So debate, Grahani Nam Ashito Agni Dosha, Grahani Dosha. That is why the first disease only where Dosha word is used, not Vadi, is Grahani. Because it is not anatomical deformity, it is a physiological deformity. It is the Grahani Ashita Agni Dosha. That is why the chapter name is Grahani Dosha. Next slide. And worst cause of Grahani among the 5 Gyanendriyas, one Gyanendriya, if you don't control, tongue. See there, Laulya Labade Shigram. Which Laulya? Jiva Laulya. Okay, listen to your heart, not your tongue. Something is very tasty. हे भगवान ये आगे जन्म में मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा अभी बना है तो खा लो. But I can tell you, Juva is the worst. Okay, that's why we have to control the Yohi Bhumte Vidhi Tektva Grahani Dosha Kadan. For that, Gangadhara comments, next. Ki Asmat Yo Vidhi Tektva Laulya Lobha, greed. Food is good, but not greed. Okay, so Laulya Lobha Bhumte Grahani Dosha Kadan Shigram Kalate. Yaru Bahada Utut Bage. Ati Lobi Gadadar. 100% Grahani work. Ajirna Dashanam Grahani Doshanam, again Yajapurushya. See, Yajapurushya is the one heart, left ventricle of Sarasamita. Yajapurushya is the left ventricle of Sarasamita. Why left ventricle? Because it is the side where pure blood is there. So, all Ekamulikas, all better things is stored in Yajapurushya only. That is why you remember that shloka number 40 by heart it or print it and put it in a hostel room. So that every day you remember this. Among all the causes of Grahani, Ajirna Dashana is the best cause of Ajirna Dashanam, Grahani Doshanam, Shreshtam. Next. See, now I am going to discuss as per the request of the organizers. Paraspara Hetukaha, Arsha Adhisarani Grahani. In that, what is the status of Agni? Practically, because Agni, I need at least 1 year to complete the syllabus of Agni. That much of Agni syllabus is there. But in 1 hour, I am giving the essence. Go back. Next one, another one. Okay. Don't reveal the secrets. Various Samprati statements. First one is Karoti Kupito Mandagni Sanchatya Marutaha. Now, all 30 students, please answer me at once. Vata relation to Agni is what? Options: Vishamagni, Tishnagni, Mandagni, Samagni. Vishama means what? Vishama means asama. Sama means regular. Vishama means irregular. Irregular means what? Sometimes Agni may be increased and sometimes Agni may be decreased. But in Vatali Grahani, he says, Kupito Mandamagni. How can Vata cause Mandagni? Because Vata can cause Mandagni, correct? Vata can also cause Tishnagni. Sanchadya Marutaha. Now next. There is Vata in both the things. In both the pictures, there is Vata. If we tell the students in this way, they will understand. दोनों जगह पे वायु का रोल है. एक में अग्नि का दीपन हो रहा है और दूसरे में अग्नि का नाश हो रहा है. Now you understood? If Vata is beyond control, its power is more than the Agni, then it will extinguish the fire. If the Samana Avadutu Agni, that means Samana Vayu is giving some slow air to the fire, then what happens? You have done in physics, take a candle and put a glass on it. कब तक चलेगा? जब तक ऑक्सीजन है तब तक चलेगा. बाद में क्या होगा? बुझ जाएगा. बिकॉज अग्नि नहीं है तो, दैट इज वाई वायु नहीं है तो अग्नि बुझेगा. वायु ज्यादा है तो अग्नि बुझेगा. दैट इज वाई वाता शुड बी अवधूतो, balanced supply of air to the fire. So this is the difference between this happens in Grahani. Second thing happens in Grahani. That is why Mandam Agnim Sanchatya Marutaha. Next one. Pitta Grahani. This is also very beautiful. See, Chakrapani asks me that in the question that to the Charaka. Pitta and Agni are directly proportional. In the first one I told you that Pitta eva Agni eva Pitta अंतर्गत in the body. So जब भी Pitta बढ़ेगा Agni क्या होना चाहिए? Agni should increase. But you know, in Pitta, Sasnehi, Pittam Sasnehi, Tishna, Ushna, Labu, sorry, Tishna, Ushna, Labu, Visram, Saram. This is important. Last one. Next slide. See there. Second time. Agnim Aplavayad. What is Plavana? Swimming. तो अग्नि पानी में स्विम करेगा तो क्या होगा? मैं बोल रहा हूँ गर्म पानी है. गर्म पानी है तो अग्नि जलना चाहिए. आप ट्राई करो. अग्नि के ऊपर गर्म पानी डालो क्या होता है? बुझ जाता है. बुझना नहीं चाहिए बिकॉज गर्म था. वही पित्त के साथ होता है. पित्त गर्म है लेकिन द्रव है. ठीक है. दैट इज व्हाई ही सेज अग्नि महाप्लावयन्ति जलम तप्तम इवाडलम. जलम तप्तम इवाडलम. तप्त जल, hot water poured on the Agni, but still Agni is demolished. That means it is Vikalpa Samprapti. 6 types of Samprapti, 5 types of Samprapti. Gnana first chapter. Vikalpo hi amshamsha kalpanaha. Let me check your intelligence. In Kambhavata, which guna of Vata is increased? In Parkinson's, which guna of Vata is increased? Chala guna. Yes, you are intelligent. That is amshamsha kalpana. Means you are looking at the Tarakam of each guna of dosha. In here, Pitta, Drava guna is increased. That is why even though Pitta is increased, Agni is decreased. Next slide. See, this is what is happening. Next. He is putting hot water on the fire, but fire is extinguished. Next slide. Kapha Chakrani. No need of explanation. That's why commentator has not given anything because Kapha is Guru, Snikta, Manda, etc. That's why naturally it is going to cause Manda, right? And Vata Jatisara. See, same thing. Pakta Chapahanate Savayu Kupito Agni Upahate Mutra Svedo Purishasha Upaharatya. Whether either is scientific or not. Why you people are trying to become quacks, taking BMS and practicing allopathy? Because nobody teaches you that either is scientific. Only some teachers will teach in good institutions. Now, how scientific this one is? Whenever a person is putting a drip in loose motion, that is the most foolish thing to do. Until unless there is signs of severe dehydration. That is actually chikitsa. But to earn money, GPs what they will do? If 100 lakhs are in doctor Allah, one to add in doctor Allah, but a prescription is not. one injection ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, one test ಮಾಡಿಸಿಲ್ಲ, one scanning ಮಾಡಿಸಿಲ್ಲ. Means patients are mind washed like that now. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಡ್ರಿಪ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. What is the definition of ಅತಿಸಾರ? ಉದೇನ ಬಹುದ್ರವ ಸರಣ ಅತಿಸಾರ. That means body has excessive clear. It should go out of the body. अरे fools, then why are you putting IV directly fluid अंदर again? Body द्रव को निकाल रहा है और आप लोग डायरेक्ट वेन में फ्लूइड डाल रहे हैं. Is it foolishness or not? I am not telling scientific is allopathy is not scientific. Allopathy fluid is needed. When it is needed? When there is a clear signs of dehydration like sunken eyes and the elasticity of the skin is lost and the patients have urine output is 0. Now you tell me, fluid up to what time they will put? Your third years you cannot say, but they will put the patient on the fluid until urination is normal. Once urination is normal, the fluid is stopped. See what is happening here. Mutra Svedo Purushashayam Upavatya. Have you heard about Ashaya Prakasha Hetu? Aparana means what? Sita Aparana? Kidnapping. Ashaya Prakasha Hetu means? Who is active among the three doshas? Two are Pangu. One is having legs. Vayuna Ekani Yente Tatra Gachanti Megavar. Correct? So, Mutra and Sveda are kidnapped by the Vayu to the Purishashaya, not to the Mutrashaya. So, water कहाँ पे आ गया? Rectum में आ गया. Means large intestine में आ गया. कहाँ जाना चाहिए था? Skin में से जाना चाहिए था, urine में जाना चाहिए था, लेकिन नहीं गया. That is why in loose motion there will be no sweating and no urination. Let me ask which person will say that scientific Ayurveda is not scientific. Ayurveda is more scientific than allopathy. I'm telling you that. Okay, so this is the pathology where Vata, because of digestion, it is very active. It is Chalaguna. It kidnaps the Mudra and Sveda from its own Ashayas and takes it to Purishashaya. That is why Purisha becomes Drava. Okay, so at that time you are supposed to do Deepana Pachana and Grahi. That is not an Amadesara, not the Sangranam Deyam Kurum Amadesarani. Very scientific it is. See, I am telling you, Amadosha, poison is going out and you are taking loperamide and stopping it. Imagine now. If you imagine this, you will never take loperamide and stop it. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೈಯಾಗಿನ ಕೊಳದ ಬಲ್ಸ್ ಹೊಂಟೈತಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಲೋಪರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇಡೋದು ಹೊಡಗ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಲೋಪರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು so don't do that. Next. So these are some of the medicines used for Agnivikara. The excellent one is here. I have given it last. I started with Ayam Vaishwana Bhutva Shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Praninam Devam Ashtam. Same Vaishwana Churna is there, which contains all the Dipana Pachita Dravyas. Chitrakati Vati reference again in Grahani. Vachadi Churna, Kiratati Churna, Abhaya, Ritaki. Next, Pipali, Paricha, all these can be given for Agnivardhana. Next. These are all for Pittaja, Grahani or Pittaja, Agnivikara, because Chandana. Always remember, which are the three rasas which are Pitta Shamaka? Which are the three rasas which are Pitta Shamaka? Tatratyam, Martam, Ganti, Kashaya, Pitta, Madhura. Okay. So one more important thing I will tell you. If you are a Pitta Prakriti, you should like what? To keep your Pitta balanced, you should like three rasas. Those are Madhura, Pitta, and Kashaya. Right? So see, Chandana, Pitta. Nagaradyagrita, Nagara is Shunti, which is Patu. But it will not do Agni Vardhana. Why it will not do Agni Vardhana? How many of you are Shadangapani? In that 5 are Pitta, only one is Patu. And before that, Charaka says, Pittam Sutta Shintam Jalam Datyat Krishna Shandaye. And in Shadagapani it says that Rivera, Chandana, Parpata, Uditya, Chandana, Pusta is there. Pusta, Parpataka, Ushira, Uditya, Chandana. 5 Tiktas are there. Nagara is there. Even though it is not Tikta. Why? Because Amashaya Samudbhava Kare Hitatvat Viniyogaha. Means Chakrapani comment is clear that even though a Tiktapi, Atra Shunti, a Tiktapi, I am telling the comment is Shloka. अत्र शुंठी, यहाँ पे शुंठी को इसलिए डाला गया है अतिक्तापी, तिक्त न होते हुए कटु होते हुए इसको ऐड किया गया है बिकॉज आमाशय समुद्भव ज्वरे नितत्वात्, इट इज ज्वरग्ना एंड ऑल ज्वरग्ना आर आमवाचक, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज एडेड. ओके, So next, Bolipa. Next. Yeah, you can see this in books. Next. Yeah, Sneha. Why Sneha is taken? Among four, Vrita is best because of its samskar, Salvartanagura, obviously agreed. And among the four Snehas, the best for Agni is again Sneha only. That is Vrita only. Not Taila, not Vasa, not Vajja. This is a reference from again Grahani. Sneha meva param, param shreshtam. Among all the things that increase the Agni, not Pipali, not Chitraka, not Maricha, etc. But the best thing to increase Agni is Sneha, Vrita. Because Vidya Durbala Anandipanam. Reason is Na Anam Sneha Samitasya Shamayanam Suguropi. जो अग्नि को स्नेह से इंक्रीज किया गया है उसको कम करने के लिए इस दुनिया में कोई भी गुरु द्रव्य नहीं है. Superlatives. There is no guru dravya in this world to decrease the agni which has been enhanced by Vrita. So if I put 1 liter Vrita on the deepak, when I have deepak chhadi, umme 1 liter Vrita hakidra, aro bidutte. Ata this one chapcha kodra, it will go for a long time. It becomes Ganga deepak, right? That is why logical use of Vrita is important in agni. So one more episode of agni, that is when Pitta is increased, that is called as Atyagya Basmaka. I am telling why Charak is so scientific because in Atyagya see the Samprapti. Agni को बढ़ाने के लिए Pitta should be increased or decreased. Pitta should be increased. Kapha should be decreased. Vata should be balanced. I told you, जास्ती दूध का तो slow नहीं पड़ता. Balanced. See the slogan now. Nare Shina Kafe. In a person who has a Manda Kapha, Pittam Kupitam. Pitta is increased. Maratam Anugam. Maratam is helping to Pitta. Means Jaleva pe namak chadna. Okay. So it is doing some good air to the Vayu. Then to the Agni. So Ushmana Pavaka Sthane Balam Agne Prayachati. In its own place Agni gets strong Bala. And then it starts what happens. It does the Virukshana. Virukshana is not dryness here. Don't understand the Virukshana as dryness. Virukshana is a loss of Snehamsha from the dhatus. When Tikshna is there, when Basmaka is there, the first symptom is loss of Snehamsha from the dhatus. Then second stage is Dhatushaya. Will not believe me? Then tell me the 6th chapter name of Nidhanasthana. 6th chapter of Sneha Charak Samhita, 6th chapter of Nidhanasthana. Shosha Nidhana. 8th Chikitsa. 8th Chikitsa. Apasmara is 10. Unmata is 9. Don't play with me in Charak Samhita. Okay. Sorry to say that. So yes, 8th of Chikitsa. Rajashma. Okay. First to 8th except the Shosha all have same names in Chikitsa. Jara Nidhana, Jara Chikitsa. Apasmara Nidhana, Apasmara Chikitsa. Only one disease name changed. Why? Have you ever thought about this? ये भी कोई सोचने की बात है. चलो यार जाने देते हैं. इसमें क्या है? तेरा को मूड आया होगा, अपनी सोच बता दिया. यहाँ पे राजस्थान हो गया तो हमें क्या फर्क पड़ता है? फर्क पड़ता है. Shosha is the preacher of Rajeshma. When the Snehamsha dhatu is gone, it's called as Shosha. When you don't treat, then also the person will end up with complications like a syndrome. That is why Rajeshma is a syndrome, not a disease. That becomes Rajeshma. That is why the Nidhanasthana, the name is Shosha. And in Chikittasthana, if you don't treat there in the first 3 Kriya Kalas, it will end up into Vektavastha and Pritavastha, then it becomes Rajeshma. Where Ekta Vimshati, Ekadashi Rupas are there. So in that what happens? Again and again, more the patient feels hungry. Can anyone name me as per the modern science, which is the disease where the patient feels very hungry again and again, he has to eat again and again? Yes? I think someone is still correct. Modern. Hyperthyroidism. And hypothyroidism is a kapha jnana. That is why their woman and virgin are indicated. And here you have to give all ahitas told for healthy people is hita for pasmaka. ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಬಾರದು. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬೆಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಊಟ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಊಟಪ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. Because it's a treatment. Paneer is contraindicated, I told you. Paneer is indicated for you. Okay, so if you are having basmaka, you can burn anything. That's why he says मुहुर मुहुर पक्वा अन्नम स्वततो, खाना पचाने के बाद वो क्या करेगा, अन्न मिला नहीं तो धातु को स्टार्ट करेगा. It will start digesting the dhatus. Next. That is why in Lakshana he says that Daurbalyam Atankam Mrityu. If you don't read, he may die also. That's why second line very beautiful. Bhukva Anne Labate Shanti. Uta Madikula Ramagantam. Because you are given some indra to the fire. Once digestion happens, Jirna Matre Pratamati. Once the food is digested, he gets darkness in front of the eyes. Sir Chakramantra Hasagat Nandar. Science of hypoglycemia. Okay. Trushwasa, Daha, Murchatyaha, Vyadayo, Attegni Sambhavaha. These are the lakshanas. And now see, just now I told you that whatever is ahita for healthy is hita for attegni. Guru, Snigdha, Shita, Madura, Vichalahi, Sichilahi. All this you should give again and again. See, Muhur Muhur Ajirne Api. I told Ajirna Desre is Gravity Dosha Karana. यहाँ पे क्या करना है? Even though the previous food is not digested, फिर से खिलाओ इसको. I am not telling. जरा कैसे? Muhur Muhur Ajirne Api. Even though the previous food is not digested, give him food again and again because you have to treat attegni. And how scientific? Last one. Matsyan Visheshataha. Especially the food for attegni is fish. Why? And for healthy people, fish is not indicated. It is Parama Vishandi. Especially if you mix with milk and all. And that too not simple fish. See the depth of Charasamrita. That's why I say it's a genius condition. Matsyan Visheshataha Slakshna Stira Toya Charamscha. Stagnant water fish anta nama. Padyan wala. Pond. तो समझ में आया? If the fishes are in the river, sometimes they have to swim towards the current of water and sometimes they have to swim against the current of water. That means they are doing more exercise. So what will be their BMI? It will be less. But when it is Sthiratoya, Slakshna Sthiratoya, new standing water and stagnant water, fish is आराम से सो जाएगा. उसको एक्सेस करने की जरूरत नहीं है. तो उसका BMI क्या रहेगा? छोटा रहेगा. That means अग्नि के लिए कौन सा पानी है? Chala Jala, Sthira Jala. Sthira Jala. That much of scientific character. He is even thought of that thing while telling the treatment. Don't take the fishes of flowing water. Take the fishes of stagnant water because they are more guru for the technique. Then you can treat that technique properly. Next. This is Amrita Samana. You might have heard Takram Chakra Siddharlabam. Who is Chakra? Who is Chakra? Indra. Okay. So Indra may be lucky. He may be drinking sura and enjoying the dance of all four. Etc. But he is very unlucky that he doesn't have this thing. Takram Chakra Siddharlabam. Means Chakra is such a great thing which is not even available for Indra. But you are so lucky that you have that one and still you want to drink डर के आगे जीत है. उसके आगे मौत भी है. Mountain Dew you want to drink and you want to drink all this fizz and all Coke etc. See, my PhD is on osteoporosis in Jamnagar. We did a study. Take a Coke and put your teeth inside that bottle and close it again. Open it after 6 months. Your teeth is completely dissolved. And you all know which is the strongest tissue in your body. It is enamel. Enamel's hardness is equal to the hardness of diamond, they say. So diamond anta enamel anta hardest thing adra karabekadra nimda mucus membrane happens. Stomach mucus membrane not happens with it. You people are committing suicide slowly. So all the best. Don't drink takra. Don't drink coconut water. Don't drink ikshurasa, which will cleanse your kidneys. Putra jananam. Okay, but drink all these idiots things about. Will be inspired by, and our heroes also same only, no? In your speech you want kesar, kesar, right? So they will initiate you to do all these things. All those idiots are sitting there for money. So don't do that. Takra, see how it is. It is not because Gardaka, it is because Shamaka, because of Deepana, Rani, Nagava, Sreshtam. Then he says, Sreshta Madhura Pakikar, because it is Madhura Vipaka, it is best for Pitta. Nachamenta Prakopayeka. Kashaya Vasta Vikasitva, Dhaushat, Chayava Kapayikam. Vate Swadvanga Sandratva Satyastam, freshly prepared takra, which is having more Navanita in it is waste for vata. Okay, that is why for Grahani dosha it is good, and Takrarishta is excellent for Grahani. Next time. ಯಾವಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಊಟದಾಗ ಮಜ್ಜಿಗಿಲ್ಲ ಮನ್ಯಾಗ ಅಜ್ಜಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಊರಾಗ ಪಚ್ಚಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಡೇನ ಲಜ್ಜಿಗೆ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಸರ್ವಜ್ಞ ವಚನ ಮಜ್ಜಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಊಟ ಅಜ್ಜಿಯರಿಲ್ಲದ ಮನೆ ಪಜ್ಜಿಯರಿಲ್ಲದ ಊರು ಲಜ್ಜಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಸರ್ವಜ್ಞ ಓಕೆ ಸಿ ಇವನ್ ಸರ್ವಜ್ಞ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ತಕ್ರ ರೈಟ್ ಸೊ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ತಕ್ರ ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಎನಿ ಗುಜರಾತೀಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ no one. Okay, fine. I like that food habit because Jamnagar I enjoyed 2 years. Every lunch they have that. Every lunch compulsory. Chas pivanu se. In Gujarati, chas compulsory pivanu se. Chas should be taken because they live in the coastal area. So takra is must. That's why if you eat meal without takra, it is shameful. I am not saying sarvadnes. Next. To maintain agni, if you think that मैं ज़्यादा खाना खाऊंगा तो अग्नि ज़्यादा रहेगा, या फिर कम खाऊंगा तो अग्नि ज़्यादा रहेगा, you are wrong. Again balance right. मात्रा शिष्यात. 5th chapter of Sutrasthana. Charaka. मात्रा शिष्यात. Always eat a proper diet in quantity. How will you decide your matra? Ahara matra punar agni balapeksini. Means if I will eat 2 chapatis, you cannot eat 2 chapatis. You may eat 5 chapatis. Some may eat only half chapati because it depends upon the agni of a person. Ahara matra punaha agni balapeksini. So that's why na abhojane na kaya nirdipate na ati bhojana. कम खाने से अग्नि नहीं बढ़ेगा, ज्यादा खाने से भी अग्नि नहीं बढ़ेगा. That means यथा निरिंदनो वनिरल्पो वा इंधनामृतः. If you put too much of water, if you put too much of ghee also it will die, and if you put no ghee also it will die. That's why you have to be balanced. Next slide. Yeah, prayovikara paraspara hetavah, that is Harsha, Atisana and Grani. Next slide. Next please. Previous. Next. Next. Yeah. See, I'll conclude because we are going to start the inauguration. I will emphasize on the importance of Agni manifestation of all rogas. Grahani dosha itself is Agni dosha because in unmanifested form, the rate neglected may become the cause of all the serious health issues. Proper ahara vidhi explained in Ayurveda should be followed. Ahara vidhi explained in Ayurveda should be followed to maintain the health of Grahani as well as your health. Especially, never listen to your tongue, listen to your heart. Tongue may say that eat more. That is why Grahani is caused because of the greed of your tongue. That's what is stated in Samhita. Next slide. My last slide. When I learned PMS in Intel College, there were no MD teachers at that time except Dastar. So we didn't learn Samhita more. We were laughing at it. Samhita is क्या बता रहा है? काष्टा शास्त्र बता रहा है. ಒಂದು ಕವನ ಸಿಕ್ತು. ಯಾರು ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮನ ಕಗ್ಗ ಅಂತ ಬೆಳೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಾರ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ ಅಂತ ಸಣ್ಣ ಬಿಟ್ಟು. That word is very funny, tricky. So you laugh at it. So same thing happened to Koyampuji when he first time held the book of Mankutimana Kagga in his hand. He thought that is some useless book which is meaningless. Mankutimma is something funny. So Kuyampu, listen carefully, those who know Kannada, Kuyampu writes a poem on Mankutimana Kagga. Same was my experience about Charaka Samhita. That's why I took this year for Charaka Samhita. He says, when it first came to my hands, I laughed at Hastakke Varanakke. Odutta Mastakakittu Gambhiranade. Kuyampu says that as I went on reading Mankutimana Kagga, I became serious and it touched the forehead. I respected him. ವಿಸ್ತರದ ದರ್ಶನದ ತುದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನ ದರ್ಶನಕ್ಕೆ ಕೈ ಮುಗಿದೆ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. That means at the pinnacle of the philosophy of Charaka Samhita, when I understood from Santal sir or C.P. Shukla sir in Jamnagar, I really was sorry that I made fun of Charaka Samhita and I every day worship Charaka Samhita. This is now you don't understand. When you become 40 plus and you will understand that time. But now only you remember this. Today's date you remember. So thank you very much. Next. Whatever is there in Jala Samhita is there everywhere. Whatever is not there in Jala Samhita, it's not there everywhere. Because this first example is in San Francisco when I was there in Stanford in 2011. I came across a genetic professor in Stanford and I said, Jala Samhita genetics is there. He didn't believe. How come Jala Samhita genetics is possible? Then I said, okay, tell me genetics what? Just 2 minutes. He said that we did a research for 300 years, 3 years for $300 billion, and we came to a conclusion that whichever gene representing chromosome is vitiated, the baby will be born with that vitiated organ. Got the point? Among the father and mother, if there is a vitiated chromosome or gene, the baby will be born with that organ defect when is born. Then I said, sir, why did you spend 3 years and $300 million? You should have read Jala Samhita second chapter Sarvasthana. Here's verse again. Second chapter Sarvasthana, one shloka is there. Yasya yasya hi angavayavasya yava yava angada avayavagalu bije bije bhage upatapto bhavanti. Bija ano? Mansha utpakar bije spermatogam. Bija bhaga anta chromosome. Bija bhaga avayava genes. यस्य यस्य हि अंगावयवस्य बीजे बीजभागे उपतप्तो भवन्ति तस्य तस्य हि अंगावयवस्य विकृतिरुपजायते. That means when the baby is born, आ अंगದ ವಿಕೃತಿಯಿಂದ ಹುಟ್ಟುತ್ತಾನ. ಅಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಷ್ಟಕ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. So he literally started having tears in his eyes. That Jala Samhita has such a great genetics. See, Prameha Anushanginam system, Chakrapani commentary, Putra Pita Pitamaha means father, grandfather and children. Diabetes is contagious. Charaka said this first. How? 10,000 years ago, when even modern science was not conceived. So be proud, don't become quacks. Please practice it, whatever science you are being studying. We have a wonderful science in the world. Every science has limitations. Whenever you want an emergency treatment, refer to them. If you have a BMW car, you will not take to a local mechanic. You will take to a showroom only. So when you want to give allopathy, send to allopathy people, they will do it. You handle your cases. Then even allopathy people will respect you. Or else they will never respect you. I wholeheartedly thank, that's why I am saying next slide please. This is my verdict always. If you do the Raksha of Ayurveda, I will definitely do the Raksha of you. Ayurveda Rakshati Rashitaha. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Annadana Paramprana Vidyadana Paramprana Anneta Shanika Prithvi Java Jeevamshala Vidyaya. In this beautiful Subhashita, the poet writes about the difference between food and knowledge. Given the provided food is of great importance, but the knowledge that we acquire is even more important. While the food lasts for a few moments until we are hungry again, the skill or knowledge that we acquire takes the responsibility of taking care of us for our entire life. With this quote, I would like to welcome you all for the inauguration session of Gnana Kunja. I, Dr. Pallaviya, Assistant Professor, Department of Panchakarma, welcome you all for Gnana Kunja, a state-level seminar with packs of knowledge organized by third-year VAMS students. Now I call upon Ms. Monica Joshi and Group for the prayers. Now I request Monica Joshi and Group for the prayer song. College GADAG. I request Dr. M.E. sir to offer a token to the principal sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to welcome our inaugurator of this auspicious or holy occasion, Dr. Busreddy sir. Was born on 2nd February 1972, completed his MBBS in BLE, Bijapur, completed MD in Anatomy, BLD, BM Medical College, Bijapur. Sir has 20 years of teaching experiences. Sir has presented various paper presentations, scientific research paper and scientific poster presentations. He is the chairperson for national and state level conferences, currently working as a professor HOD in the Department of Anatomy, Jimskar. I request Dr. Ashwini Giri ma'am to offer bouquet to us. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to welcome Secretary of this institution, Dr. B.S. Patil sir, to the function. I request Aruni ma'am to offer provide to the sir. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome our chief guest of this function, Dr. Sanjay Kadimai sir, Principal, BLDA, ABS, Mahavidyalaya, Bijapur. I request Dr. Gnana Kunja ma'am to offer bouquet to the sir. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome our academic lead sir, Dr. Santosh Belvadi sir, Professor HOD PG Department of Kaya Chikitsa GADAG. I request Dr. Mamta ma'am to offer bouquet to the sir. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to welcome our organizing secretary, Dr. Budish Kanas sir, Professor, Department of Swastha Rutta. I request Dr. Yasmin ma'am to offer bouquet to the sir. Thank you, ma'am. Next, from the bottom of my heart, welcome our guest speakers, Dr. Satish Jaliari sir, Professor, Department of Prasuti Roga, Allwas Ayurvedic Medical College, Hospital, Muzgiri. I request Dr. Anupama ma'am to offer flower to us or provide to us. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to welcome Dr. Sanjay Kadimai sir. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Gnana Kunja ma'am, Professor, HOD, Department of Commerce and Research, SDM College, Bangalore. I request Dr. Bailey ma'am to offer flower to the ma'am.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಇದು
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to welcome Dr. Gurubaswara sir, Associate Professor, Department of Swastha Rutta, Arts Service. I request Dr. Ashwini ma'am to offer flower to the sir. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to welcome Dr. Mahesh sir, Associate Professor, BM Kankaravadi Ayurvedic Mahavidyalaya and PG Studies and Research Center, VAIBHAV. I request Subhit sir to welcome Shambhu Puras. Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, I would like to welcome all the HODs, professors, assistant professors, and associate professors to this and all the delegates
I request, I also welcome our coordinator of this function, Dr. Uday sir, for this function. And once again, thank you one and all.
I collaborate Dr. Gnana Department of Physical and third year BMS coordinator for the chemotherapy.
Good afternoon. Respected president of this event, Dr. Ayush sir, principal of the Medical College, and today's inaugurator, principal of the Institute of Medical Science, Dr. P.S. sir, and distinguished guest on the stage, our KSSB is the secretary, Shri P.S. Patil sir, and also one of the best speech what I heard today is because of Dr. Sanjay Kativati sir, so who is the principal of VAD is Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya Bijapur, and also academic dean of our institution, Dr. Sanjay sir, and all the resource persons from the various parts, especially Dr. REASERCH from Hassan, Dr. Gnana Kunja, who is our teacher. She is from Muslim College of Ayurveda, Bangalore, and Mahesh Savalimat is coming on the BM Committee, Ayurvedic College, Belgaum, and also Mr. Dr. Satish Jaliyad, so who is the proud alumni of our institution, and all the respected faculties, teachers, and also various delegates from the neighboring institution of Ayurveda, and also the staff, and lastly our proud students. So today we organized on 26th of November state level seminar on Gnana Kunja. So we knew that our college is a very old and renowned college. So since 1979, so it is giving the education in the field of Ayurveda, and we are very proud to organize and happy to organize such events since long back. And coming to the this particular seminar, Gnana Kunja, so it was unique the name which is suggested by our dean, Ayush sir. So ಜ್ಞಾನಗಳ ಒಂದು ಸಂಕೀರ್ಣ ಜ್ಞಾನಗಳ ಒಂದು ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನ ಆಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು, because we mentioned as a PACS, because I am a coordinator of third year BMS. These are the subjects which we learn in the third year BMS or academics. That is Prasuti Tantra and Sriroga, Adara Tantra, Charaka Samhita, then Kaumarutya, and lastly my subject Sanskrit and Yoga. So by keeping all these things in the mind, we planned and we executed this particular seminar. And in the due course of this conducting this session, so we planned why not we can make it as a state level seminar instead of taking a series of guest lecture. So series of guest lecture may take the long or the duration, and also it might be effective to the students for examination as another. So by this short discussions and so we and our third year BMS students, staffs and students and the dean, we agreed and we organized this particular seminar. So and coming to the point, why we have made this particular seminar at this particular, because as of we are having only 4 post-graduation in Science, Chikitsa, Panchakarma, Shastra, and we are not having any post-graduation in this subjects. So that's what let us our students should enrich their knowledge with some different faculties from the PG department and other. So this is what we thought to do something to our students and the students who are near to us. So this is what we planned and we are doing and we are executed this particular seminar. So and coming to the one more thing here, so instead of
talking only the theoretical importance. So we are planning to give more about the practical and case studies. So this was played in our mind. So this is how we have executed on this particular seminar. So by this I can say some few words or keynote about this particular